Why aren't you listening to me? Doesn't anybody ever listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Blame yourselves for this fucking word salad that I just spit all over the goddamn plate. This is all your fault. You and I like to. That's it. I work under the cover of darkness because I don't need the rest of society to look in my eyes and know that is a bad person. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Folks, I'm happy to be here today. I got to tell you, I am so happy. I've got a belly full of smoothie, and I am here to bring you the hilarity. The hilarity of smoothie. I guess, is that what I'm doing? I don't know. Because I've dealt with real life all fucking day, and I'm happy to be here on vacation in my playhouse. That's what Lily's house is. This is my playhouse. I'm upside down in a jungle gym. You didn't know that, did you? I am upside down in a jungle gym and wearing very little. It's very warm in here. That's bullshit. It is fucking cold out. It is like, well, not cold. It's just gusting winds and like leaves. And you know who that does not stop, folks? The homeless. They don't care. They just shamble about like zombies looking for cover and purchase. Holy fuck. You got a dude on this block. All right, Lily, you've probably seen him. I've now seen him 3 weeks in a row. All right. Because here's the thing, folks. I will get here and then I will have to park downstairs. Of course. No, folks. I don't know if you know this. I park upstairs. I often will drive right into the lobby and just leave my car right there as if it were a showroom to make all of the Asians who live here jealous. And oh my God, are there Asians. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. Part of me wonders because this is the oldest building in Hollywood, if these people if they're here and they were infiltrating during World War II and just forgot, they don't know the war's over. You ever hear those stories where they find some dude on an island who didn't know the war was over? This building is full of them. This building is full of those dudes, but they've assimilated. They wear like the clothing that they found outside, and their clothes are too big. They don't wear their traditional Japanese garb. What does that mean? They should be in kimonos. People should be in kimonos shuffling through the hallways, or those non-collar like gis. So, gis. You know what? Everybody's in gis and kimonos. Would nobody wear a gi in World War II? How come that? Actually, I got a beef with you folks. Hey, Japanese, you were in World War II, and then you had like regular army uniforms. Fuck that. We got to tell you apart, man. You got to wear gis. That's your team. It's just like in football. If the Chicago Bears came out and they were wearing actual like bear suits, that wouldn't be cool for anybody. But hold on a second. That invalidates my argument. I take that back. Actually, it would be fucking amazing if the Bears came out in bear suits. Get on it, NFL. The guys on these teams should dress like their mascots. Oh my God, those games would be that much better. But you would have to, like, I would name my team like the Uniforms, so I would have an advantage. I'd be like the Cincinnati Uniforms, because then everybody else is wearing fucking bear costumes and dressed like big guys who work in steel mills, and I would get to come out with like a breathable material that allows me to score at will. That's right. Which is, by the way, that's exactly what cheerleaders wear. A breathable material that helps them score at will. Man, folks. The Japanese, like, why did you have uniforms? You should have worn gis. Like, that would have made the war certainly much more interesting to watch on the History Channel. I mean, I'm all for planning and understanding about the things that happened in the past. Well, then what the Germans had to wear lederhosen. Jesus Christ. So what we wear? We're fucking Americans. We had to wear Uncle Sam suits. Oh my God. This is awesome. If wars were like sports, that'd be genius. But, of course, you know who gums it up? The fucking Al-Qaeda. Because they dress like fucking Al-Qaeda. That's the thing. They're dressed like guys in fucking... They wear turbans and their crazy outfits and stuff. They're not concerned. They don't have... Again, folks, I don't know if you heard this. We're fighting a different enemy. That's what I've heard. A different enemy who's not concerned with wearing uniforms that all match. Oh, fucking... How gay is war? Seriously. I mean, other than the fact that everybody's shooting everybody and killing one another, war is the gayest thing in the world. It's as gay as the Catholic Church, where they got to wear their little outfits. Everybody wears a fucking weird robe and their ruby slippers and their goddamn beanies and a mitre, and the fucking Pope's wearing like 19 different, he's got 20 different outfits that he wears for Mass. And seriously, he's the gayest guy in the world, the Pope. But then war is even more gay because like every country has to have their little uniforms and they all got to look specific, and they got their red buttons and their blue buttons and their fucking flags. God damn it. The whole world is Stratego. All right. Stratege. That's right. This whole world is Stratege. Oh, I'm going to get stabbed with a bayonet. All right. So, the fuck was I talking about? There was a thing where I was dudes parking downstairs. Yeah. All right. There's a lot of Asians here, and they should be wearing gis, quite frankly. But I'm downstairs, man, and it's like the last 3 weeks I've come and there's been no. I parked downstairs on the street and I have a parking permit that I had to purchase from Lily. It was a back alley deal. And don't think Lily's not experienced in the back alley deal, folks. Oh, my goodness. I have heard stories that I cannot tell on the air, but geez, Louise, is she into the back alley deal? All right, it's totally true. So I'm downstairs, so I will show up with my parking permit, and I have to park on the street and then put it in the window. But sometimes you get here, and it's the oldest building in Hollywood on the oldest street in Hollywood, and it's basically an alley. It's an alley with 4 hotels in it, all right, because it's behind a giant structure. So sometimes there's nowhere to park. So I will, of course, because I'm very stubborn, I will wait. I will sit there and wait because I could just very easily turn. There's a parking garage I could park and it cost me $4. But no, it's more important to me to sit for 45 minutes and wait for someone to possibly come downstairs and move their car, which I've been very lucky. All right. I would say about 90% of the time I get a spot or somebody moves their car while I'm down there waiting. But then the other 10% of the time happens and I've got to go fucking park in a parking garage, which was today. Today's the 10%. There's the 99% and the 1%. Today I'm in the 10%, folks. So I've got to park, and so the last few weeks I've had to come downstairs and wait. And there's one homeless dude, because there's homeless everywhere, right? It's not, they're not shambling. I'm not ankle deep in them or anything downstairs, but it's happened. I've told you people have lurked out of the bushes and want to shake hands. They want money. Oh, it happened to me last night. Fuck this. I went to get gas at like 2 a.m. because when I was driving, I left Graveyardville to go get a sandwich. I wanted to go home and get a turkey sandwich. And I saw that the Mobile and the Chevron by where I work were low in prices, which meant that my Chevron, which is in a sneaky tucked away area, was going to be even lower. And I'm like, well, fuck, before it even goes up in the morning, I need to go and get some gas. So I fucking hightailed it over there. And, look, getting gas in the middle of the night is terrible. I told you, one time I went to get gas and the guy was clipping his nails. It's just fucking horrendous. But even worse is getting gas in the middle of the night, because then the army of the undead comes out wanting $1 so they can go buy brains or whatever the fuck they're spending it on. But sure enough, last night, 3 different dudes at 2 a.m. are all lurking in the Chevron. And I don't know if they're working together. They must be working together, because otherwise they would have a huge fucking homeless brawl. And all you would see is like fingerless gloves and squeegees flying in a cloud of dust. And they were rampaging each other over fucking 40 cents or whatever the fuck anybody can spare. And nobody can spare anything, especially not at 2 a.m. I get news for you. If I'm getting gas at 2 a.m, I'm as bad off as you are, motherfucker. I should be in bed. All of us, and nothing good is happening at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And that's where I live my life. I've told you folks that. Trust me, take it from a guy who's up at that hour, nothing good is going on. And I'm either watching it or I'm involved in it. Trust me. Most of the time watching it. So I go to get the gas, and I think they almost made like eye contact. They had they have a schematic where they try to outflank me, and one guy comes to the other side. But all 3 of them eventually dinged me for cash, and all 3 of them had the different story. You know what I mean? One's I'm hungry. Well, that's not much of a story, sir. I got to see what the other 2 guys have to offer. And then one of them had to get back to Sacramento, and he tried to give me a necklace. He wanted to sell me his necklace. All I have is this necklace, and I'll give you this necklace. I'm so broke, and I'm hungry, and I need to get gas, and I got to get back to Sacramento. Just that whole song and dance, and I have never prayed for a hose to work faster in my life. I'm just like, I almost wanted to I didn't even need gas. I almost wanted to pull it out and spray them down. Wow, that's a sad story. What if I just set you on fire right now? Wouldn't that be much better? And you wouldn't have to come and try to sell me some fucking necklace that's turning your goddamn neck green, motherfucker. But I listened, and the 3rd guy he didn't even talk to me. The 3rd guy just walked up with a sign, just like, hungry, please give. And I just pulled out my sign, broke, no. Man. All right. That's right, I have a sign. I was actually reaching for the sign that said, yipes. But I wound up with the broke no sign. So I'm downstairs, man, and I'm waiting for to park. And there's a homeless dude. You know who he is? He looks like, all right, you guys won't get this reference, but who cares? In Escape from New York, there's a guy named Romero, all right? And he had flame orange hair that was like standing up on top of his head. He looked like he was in a wind tunnel at all times. And just a creepy, like horrible jack-o'-lantern face. But he's awesome. He's awesome in the movie. He's like the Duke of New York's right-hand man. And he's I can't even describe him. But when I saw Escape from New York in the theater when I was a kid, my mom loved him because my mom had the same hair as Romero. Like red-orange hair up in the air, like on top of his skull. Amazing. And he also does this stupid thing. He goes... Like that's his thing in the movie. You have to see it. So this dude has Romero hair, but it's gray, and he's barefoot, and he's running around like smoking, but running and smoking like the weirdest. I don't know. For the homeless dude, he's got like the most energy I've ever seen in my life.
He's not homeless. He lives here.
He lives here. Dude, well, he's on the street every time I come here. And he's running with a cigarette in his mouth, and he looks grim and dirty. He's filthy. I mean, he's filthy. He's running on this shit street with bare feet. The other day, when I got here like 2 weeks ago, he had a jug of Sparklets water. You know that like you put on the that big fucking container in your like a water cooler. He fucking had it on a dolly, and which is all right. Fine, I understand that you don't want to carry it because you're fucking bone thin from not eating ever because you're a hobo. Your fucking shoulder will snap off. Put it on a dolly. Good for you. But he never brought it anywhere. I waited downstairs like 20 minutes to park, and he was just pushing it up and down the street like he was looking for. You ever see the all right? In the 1960s, they made a Batman movie with Adam West, and he's trying to get rid of a bomb. There's a scene where he's running around with a bomb, and he can't get rid of it because there's like a Salvation Army band and a bunch of drunks, and then there's like a bunch of baby chicks. He can't get rid of the bomb, and he actually looks at the computer one time and he goes, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb." This guy looked like he was trying to get rid of a bottle of Sparkles, and he couldn't find anywhere. He's just pushing the hand truck up and down and running like pushing a dolly, like the fucking weirdest thing. What are you doing? Like it looked like the you ever see those World's Strongest Man competition on ESPN where like Magnus Var Magnuson is carrying a goddamn boulder? That's what it looked like. He was having his own shuttle race, pushing a goddamn huge bottle of water up and down the street in a hand truck, and never going into a house, never going anywhere. That's why I thought he was homeless.
Please talk to him sometime.
No, well, okay. Guess what?
It was today.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying to you. I've seen him 3 fucking weeks in a row, and then today I'm sitting downstairs looking to park, and it's dark. It's dark outside, so I guess maybe he was emboldened by the cover of darkness. But he walked up, and I'm sitting there, and look, all right, I'm just sitting in a car, like, and I'm a big dude. If you come up and you start knocking on my window again, I realize you've got nothing to lose, and he's a tiny little wiry dude, and I could probably take him, but it doesn't matter. He's got retard strength from running around with bare feet. Yeah, awful, and so. He had a cigarette in his mouth, and he's like knocking on the window, and I roll the window and I go, yeah, because I will tell you this about me, I don't give a fuck. All right, I'm not scared of homeless people. I don't lock my doors. It's like last night, those dudes came walking up, and I just heavily sighed, thinking, well, if I got to fight these dudes, I got to fight these dudes. You know, I don't want to. Please get that straight. Okay, I don't want to hit anybody anymore. I never want to fight anyone. I don't want to get involved in any physical altercation, particularly with people that are dirty. Do me a favor, if you want to fight me, take a shower. Seriously, I do not want to go round and round with some guy who's just fucking stinking to high heaven. Do me a favor. If you just get clean, and I'm happy to go for it. Let's go. We'll throw down. I almost want to carry soap in my car. If some homeless guy mouths up, I'm going to go, here, do me a favor. And I'll shoot him like fucking Samuel L. Jackson and Travolta in Pulp Fiction. It'd be like, strip down to your bare ass. I'm going to fucking hose you down. You get clean, and then get dressed, and we'll fight. I'm fine with that. Put on this fucking UC Banana Slug shirt and a goddamn pair of shorts, and let's throw. But man, fucking unbelievable. These homeless guys are just come lurking, and so I'm not scared. And I know that sounds like I'm protesting too much. Like maybe I'm really scared. I'm trying to hide behind something. No, it's just I'm world weary. Like I'm fucking tired of it. All right, I've seen enough and been involved in enough bullshit to where these guys come drifting out, and you can't show fear. You can't, because then they'll take you down like a pack of jackals. Nobody wants that. You fucking wake up with no belt. I don't want to wake up without a belt because these fucking dudes wanted to grab it and turn it into fucking jerky, whatever the fuck they do with it. I don't know. They do. They're going to take my belt and go under a bridge and boil it, and then cut it into slivers for each other and eat it like it's goddamn human jerky. It's pants jerky. That's all a belt is, really. It's just pants jerky that's holding it up. Seriously, it's got the same consistency, the same deal. It's just pants jerky. All right, so, but I can't, but it's my pants jerky, motherfucker. Step off. Step off? Hold on a second. Who the fuck am I? Step off. I just showed up from 1994. Step off. Yeah, but it's my pants jerky, man. You can't have it. I don't care what your sob story is. I'm actually waiting for that because that's the thing. He wants to sell me a necklace, and he's like, once I reach for my wallet, boom, they do that thing where a guy goes behind me and gets down on his hands and knees, and then he pushes me over, and the next thing you know, they're rubbing my tummy and tickling me, and I'm laughing too hard, and then my pants jerky's gone. Fuck. Because I'm ticklish, mother. Ooh, that's not good. I'm ticklish. Karen will try to tickle me like sometimes, and she's done it in the past in the amount of time that we've been married. And she every time she does it, I go don't, and I'll tense up and freeze because I'm a bad tickle-y. Because I just go all elbows. Like, I mean, I can't, like, it's really bad. Like, fuck, how do I can't, I'm going to hurt somebody. Like, it's all fun and games until somebody gets an elbow in the eye, and then, like, they got to go to human services, and they're like, what happened to you? I tickled a man. You know what I mean? And and it got fucking blasted with a forearm because I'm not. There are certain areas where I will jump out of my fucking skin, and then I will just go into mosh mode. It's awful. And now you know what I've done? I've given the blueprint to anyone who ever wants to fight me and take my pants jerky. God damn it! Why have I done? I've given them the blueprint to steal my pants jerky. Everyone knows. You get behind me, you push me down, and 4 guys start tickling me, and I just start flailing around. And next thing you know, my pants jerky's gone. Guys are under a bridge having a nice meal. Fuck. All right. Forget I said anything. I'm not ticklish at all. I don't even wear a belt. I don't have any pants jerky for you to steal, hobos of America. Or internationally. That's right. If I travel internationally, hobos, don't think about it. Besides, when I travel internationally, I never bring a belt. For some reason, when I go south of the equator, my pants just stay up magically. There's less gravity down there. All right. I actually, well, I'll get, all right. So, never mind. So downstairs, so this dude's, he's knocking on the door, and I just roll the fucking window down. I'm like, what? And he has the weirdest, you talk to him?
Oh, yes.
That voice is fucking,
Yes.
It's just so creepy. Like, it's just, there's all right, Stephen King told a story. He didn't tell me a story. One time, Stephen King and I were around a campfire. Holy shit, you want to talk about creepy? There is little to no reason to ever want to be camping with Stephen King. And if you are camping with Stephen King, never let him tell the story at the fire. Not so much for the scary aspect of it, but just because you will be there through the night and the next day and the day after. People don't realize that The Stand started out as a campfire story, and the reason it's so scary is because by the time he finished telling it, the other 4 people listening were skeletons around the fire. And he was like, ha, I have the idea. What are you looking at? You're staring. You're freaking me out.
I haven't given you a time cue.
Oh, I know. Well, but I thought you were looking at it like it was frozen. All right. Hi, folks. We're just talking. I'm here at Lily's house. Hey, that's Lily Von Stuff. She's the producer of this show. And what is she wearing? A lot of people want to know what she's wearing. She's wearing a onesie today.
I'm wearing a dress.
Well, that's a one-piece dress, though.
Well,
What are those called?
all dresses are one piece unless they're a two.
Oh, because it's a skirt.
Blouse.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's wearing a dress, folks. I don't know. I don't know the rules. But that dude, he's banging on my window, and then I roll it down, and he wanted a light. And that fucking weird, like, pinched. I don't know how. Maybe it's from breathing heavy from running. I don't know, but he's just like the smoking. Yeah, he sounded like a razor.
Yeah.
He sounded like an electric razor. Oh, fuck. Oh, creepy. And he wanted a light. And I just looked at him and I was like, I can't help you, man. I can't help you. And he's like, you got $1? And I, that I certainly couldn't help him with. I'd rather give him fire than $1. But I'm like, dude, I got nothing for you. Sorry about that. And he's just like, all right. And this is my favorite part. He just goes, all right. And then I went to roll my window up, and he ran. Like, he ran away. He just lit off into the night like a pixie. He just kind of sprinted with his bare feet, and I could hear them slapping into the distance. Oh, horrendous. Yeah, so that was my conference. So I'm waiting there. And so because I was downstairs today for, a half hour waiting for a parking spot. And finally I had to go to the fucking parking garage. Again, 10%. It's a 10% night, folks. And it is nighttime. It is, what time is it?
7:16.
7:16, but I thought you were going to say.
I decided I've already done it to you today.
You did it to me last week, too. It's like, it's so funny. She's now started with the time to get ill. Every time I say, what's the time? Time to get ill. Every time I ask now. But now she stepped off with her new reading glasses and decided to give me the right time, and I appreciate it. Do me a favor, write Lily a note and tell her to stop wearing her glasses to the club. I don't know what you're reading at the club when you're doing your burlesque, but is there like a cue card? Do you need cue cards for your burlesque? You do? Really? All right. Because she lost her reading glasses at the club the other day. Because she's in so much pain from her knee, she can't concentrate on anything. So it's like so I'm like, well, then don't bring anything anywhere. You know?
To be able to see.
Fuck that. Come on. That's overrated. Trust me, because you know what you see is fucking homeless pixies downstairs banging around, dragging sparklets wherever they go. I loved the idea of a hobo with a huge bottle of water. You know what I mean? He's like, oh man, I don't have a tent. I don't even have fucking shoes, but I will be hydrated for the rest of the month. Or maybe not even the month. You know what? Maybe that's like his thing. Maybe he's like water drunk. Maybe he's like a water hobo, and he just fucking pops the top and puts a straw in it. He actually drinks a sparkless thing a day. That's his Jones. Holy shit. Because hobos, like, they want to drink, or they're all like, they fall on hard times because of crack or drugs or whatever the fuck they have. This guy's a water hobo. Holy shit. Oh man, that he just sits there and he like rolls his sleeve up and he's like slapping his thing with a straw in his mouth as he sucks a big sparklets bottle down. Oh my God. Guy's up to 4 gallons a day. Oh. But there's no way he'd be that fast. No way. He'd be sloshing all over the fucking place. I wouldn't even heard his feet hit the ground. I would just heard like a sloshing belly full of goddamn sparklets. because that guy's got a Sparklets Jones. Oh. You know what? When I come back, because he's got that hand truck with the sparklets on it, I want him next week when I come back. I want like a friend to be pulling him around on the hand truck, like just giving each other hobo rides. Oh God damn it, that's perfect. That's excitement for a hobo. That's like a hobo carnival. If you find a hand truck and you're a hobo, holy shit, business just about to pick up. Business is just about to pick up if you're a hobo and you find a hand truck. But that's actually my favorite Bob Dylan album, Hobo with a Hand Truck. Oh my Christ. Or is that Woody Guthrie? I don't remember if this Woody Guthrie or Bob Dylan. Same guy, same voice. Hobo with a hand truck. That actually sounds like that dude downstairs with a little less gravel. Hobo with a hand truck. He had his Sparklets Jones. All right. All right, that hurts. That hurt my throat. And you were thinking, how the fuck did it hurt your throat when it came out your nose? It's got to go through there somehow, folks. All right. That made your knee hurt? That was so funny it made your knee hurt. That's awesome. That's what I want to do, folks. I want to wound you with my laughter. Not my laughter, my humor. Fuck. I wound myself with my mistakes. Damn it.
Oh my God.
All right. What the hell? That makes no sense. Okay. So, by the way, I'll tell you this, folks. I wrote a review for Comedy Film Nerds, and I have to say this because this is how. All right, I'm a horrible person, but I have to say this. So I wrote a review I went and saw a movie called Rampart. Again, here's me bitching. I don't write for Comedy Film Nerds very often because I don't get to go to the movies very often, and that's a real hindrance for a movie review site. I got to be honest with you. Because very rarely can they, although they've encouraged me to just write columns, they've been very nice about it. Graham and Chris are the best, but I'm going to complain now, and I'm probably going to get in trouble, but that's fine. They put my review up, and I give my reviews like cute little names, like because I like that. I think that it should be called something. It shouldn't just be called Rampart Review. But I guess that's how they want to do it on their site, so you'll know what's going on. But instead, I think there should be like a little headline. So, Rampart is a movie about a cop whose life is in trouble. Like he starts spiraling out of control, and bad things are happening to him. So I called my review of Rampart "The Thin Blue Decline." I thought that wasn't bad. And I've done that before with all of my reviews. I've turned them in with a different name, and then I go to the site, Rampart Review. God damn it. Why are you taking out my brilliance? 4 words of brilliance. That's 4 words that could have been there. That was a chuckle. You know what? That was a kudo I would have gotten from somebody. They would have gone, Thin Blue Decline. Holy shit, he's a genius. But no, it's now Rampart Review. I didn't name it Rampart Review. If you go there and you look at it and you see it, trust me, I did not name it Rampart Review. And also, because I'm weird, I'm really weird, and this kind of shit bothers me, I have to tell you this. They posted my review. I sent it in. They were very nice. They're very complimentary. I got to tell you this. I'm so happy to be asked. I really like working for them, and I love the fact that Graham and Chris want to involve me. That said, they put up my review, and he's like, hey, man, great review. Thanks for all the work. And I read it, and there's a typo in it that's not mine. Because I when I started reading it on the site, I saw the typo. And look, typos to me, I don't know what the fuck it is, all right? But I have like a weird RoboCop eye. You know how when RoboCop would be looking through his eye and have all the in the foreground, it'd be like the Terminator. That there's like a fucking scanner and it's got all this stuff, human subject and the prime directive and all that shit's in the foreground, while in the background is the stuff he's really looking at. Okay, when I look at a piece of paper and I'm reading it, typos they almost glow to me. I know that sounds fucking weird. For some reason, I can see them right away. And so I'm reading my review and I see the word. All it is the word has 2 S's. So it says like Haas. And I saw it immediately. And I go, I didn't do that. I didn't fucking do that. So I pulled up my original review, like the copy on my desktop, and I looked at it, and I didn't. So whoever put it in, what they did was they changed a contraction. They changed hasn't to has not or something like that, and they put the extra S in. And now it looks like I'm stupid, and I don't know what the word has, how you spell the word has. And I get that. It doesn't look like I'm stupid. Nobody else cares. Nobody else notices. To other people, believe me, the contraction, the words two are out of our vocabulary, again, because Prince has ruined everybody, and now they all write the number 2. So I get that. Nobody gives a fuck except me. But when I see it, I now think there's going to be one person, some Tweety motherfucker out there, some goddamn English professor who's going to be exactly stroking his beard and reading. First, he's going to look at it and go, Rampart Review. What an inelegant title. And then he's going to click through and look at my work and see that fucking typo and go, pish posh, I can't bother with this writer ever again. And he was going to hire me. You know what they were going to do? It was going to be like Goodwill Hunting. I was going to get to be a janitor somewhere in the English department in some huge school, and they would have had some weird dangling participle gerund problem on the board that I would have solved overnight, and then boom, next thing you know, I'm fucking Minnie Driver and I'm in a car to Los Angeles, even though I live in Los Angeles. You know what? I want to go through all that just so Ben Affleck comes to my house and I'm not home. That's right. I wanted to be noticed by an English professor to get a job on a campus so I could solve an amazing problem just so I could run away and never see Ben Affleck again. That's worth it to me. How do you like them apples, Ben? All right. So there's a typo, and it's not mine. All right, that's what I tell you. And I think there was something else too that was a little hinky in the review, that they changed another contraction into something else, and it just made it sound clunky. So whatever, but good for them. And but I'm proud of the review, and I stand by every word in it except one. They took out, you know what they did? They took out 4. It's the rule of 5 with any review. They took out 4 words I liked and put in one that I didn't. Holy shit. The thin blue declined. God damn it, I'm great. All right, so. And the thing is, when you read my reviews, because I got to name my column when I first started. It was like, The Back Row with Mike Schmidt. And then I gave him the worst headshot where I'm like smiling. I don't want to smile in any pictures ever again. So they're rebuilding the site. And they're like, we need a new photo. I go, good, take this one. So I can at least look smirky. I gave him the one that's actually on MikeSchmidtComedy.com on my bio page. I'm a fan of that one. Because stupid me. All right, this is back in the day when I'm like, I should have a different picture for that, because then I need a different picture for this. And then they wanted a new bio. They're like, dude, we need a bio for the new website. And I said, I already have a bio on my website. So I gave them like a truncated version, which is like, you know. And I basically, all right, they're doing a Comedy Film Nerds book. I don't know if I'm telling any tales out of school here. I might be. Shit. I should, all right. Should I take that out? I don't know. Who cares? It's going to come out and you'll all love it. And I did some work on that, and they needed a bio for that, so I gave them a small bio. And I go, just use my book bio on the site, because nobody needs to know more about me. You know, do me a favor, give them a link to my site so they can learn more about me over there. Because they're doing that, they're giving us links and doing all that stuff. And what makes me laugh is they're always like, dude, if you wanna sell anything, because they sell a lot of cool stuff, and they have a deal with Woot and all these different people. It's like the deal. We have a deal with tweakedaudio.com/40. I don't know if you folks know that. Have I mentioned that? If you go right now to tweakedaudio.com/40, you can get yourself some cock ring watches. And some. That's right. Everybody needs more than one. And also, I should get this. Bruce, and all right, I shouldn't even do this, because Bruce wrote me, goes, I'm sure I'm setting myself for some mid-podcast mockery. And in my head, I'm just like, well, not really. But now, of course, he is, because I'm going to fucking talk about it. That's the trick. If you tell me, oh, you're probably going to make fun of me on the show, fuck you, I am. That's what the hobo said downstairs. You got a light? You going to make fun of me on your show today? Yes, I am. So Bruce is like, I'm setting myself up for mid-podcast mockery, but let me ask you this. When people buy cock ring watches or autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds, would you like us to just give the money directly to Kickstarter? And this, of course, was like, 9 months into the Kickstarter campaign. And then, of course, I let it then sit in my email for 2 weeks. And then I wrote him and I go, you know what, actually, that's a really fucking good idea. I actually wish you would do that. That'd be pretty cool. And then this week, they sent the money right to me. Like, I don't know if it's somewhere in the chain of command it got all monkeyed up or whatever, because Kickstarter's almost over, folks. The Kickstarter page, I don't know if you're aware of this, Kickstarter.com, if you can go search Mike Schmidt or the 40-year-old boy, there's a page there where we're trying to fund a tour to bring me to the East Coast. You know what word does not belong in that last sentence? Trying. Yay! I cannot thank you folks enough, because I have been fully funded to go on my trip to the East Coast. I'm going to Boston, I'm going to Washington, D.C., I'm going to Cleveland, and I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia. And I will start looking into getting what I need to get done. I need to, all the people with rewards have to get rewarded. I have to start booking planes. I have to start booking theaters. All of that is about to come this week, because I've been on the road. If you'll notice, well, I mean, you won't notice. Nobody cares. I always think that people know what I'm doing, and nobody knows what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, no shit. But I have not. I haven't updated on Twitter. Or I haven't updated on Facebook really in the past, I would say, week, because I was out of town in Chicago, and then I was in Milwaukee working, and I'll get to that in a minute. But so I didn't really update anything. So a lot of people have written me a lot of things, and I've not. So the next few days is going to be really intense. I'm going to have to put on my fucking, work boots and get a shovel and dig through all the stuff that people have written me. And I will respond to everybody, I promise. I'm way behind in emails. Just ask Bruce over at tweakedaudio.com/40. He'll tell you. And by the way, how great would mid-podcast mockery be for a podcast? That's a good name for a podcast, isn't it? Mid-podcast mockery. Bruce, that should be your podcast over there at tweakedaudio.com/40. And then, you know what? I'll sponsor you. I don't have any cock ring watches or auto asphyxiation earbuds to give away or sell. You know what? I'll tell you this. I'll sponsor your podcast, and then anybody who signs up, I will go to their house and choke them while they jerk off. Cut out the middleman. Fuck you. I'll just show up and just fucking throttle them while they jerk off. That's a good plan, right? That's not gay. I don't think that's gay. I'm just in the room and I'm choking them all the time. I'm on the violent part of it. If I offered to be like a human cock ring, that'd be a little different. I don't know how you can pull that off. You've done that, have you?
I'll do that.
Oh, you'll do that? All right, you're in. Let's be a team. Let's go be a team. We'll sponsor mid-podcast mockery, which is the tweakedaudio.com/40 podcast. And anybody who signs up, we will show up at your house and choke you while you jerk off. You must be jerking off at the time. I have to tell you. We're not just going to show up and grab your cock in your throat. That's not going to happen. You need to be an active participant in this, all right? Don't try to just get over there to get our hands all fucking dirty. That's not happening. If there's 3 pairs of hands in a room, all 3 pairs of hands are working. Do you understand? You can't just bring us over to throttle you and then grab your cock and then you sit there with your hands behind your head and lean and relax. That's not happening. You need to get to work, friend. Grab some K on your right and some Y on your left and go to work. Maybe the warming gel. Maybe you want to use the warming gel. I'm not a fan of the warming gel. I haven't used the KY warming gel, but in the old days, it's like when they had, that stupid like cinnamon lube or any of that bullshit. No, thanks. And then now there's a bacon lube. Do you see that?
Yes, my friends are all excited about it, and I'm like,
that's vile. I mean, I just, if I want to have bacon during sex, I will actually cook some bacon.
During sex?
Yes. That's right. And I like that. Is that me having sex? What am I doing there?
That's a girl going down on you
while I'm shoving some. All right, yeah.
I'm cooking bacon like that.
Yeah, you were. It's like Jiffy Pop. I wish you folks could have seen this. That was fantastic. She's got one, like her right hand is like moving back and forth, and the other hand is like holding the back of somebody's head. I don't know what kind of violent blowjobs you've been giving. That's terrible. That's weird. That's a lot of, and that's a quick pace. That's actually a pretty quick pace. I don't know if I like my pace that quick involved in that. And you should be making a fist with that hand because you got to be holding a handful of hair. All right. Jesus Christ, that was weird. That was a good deal. Folks, I wish you could have seen it. Next time, you know what? Next time you go to the Monday Night Teas, ask her. Just go, hey, what would it look like if someone was cooking bacon and getting a blowjob at the same time? She gets both hands working. See, this is just a little preview of what you've got coming to you if you get and you go on board with mid-podcast mockery. Now, because your hands are working, now we'll do that. I'll throttle you, and she'll have one hand cock ring wise, and she'll be cooking bacon with the other hand. All hands are busy when you sponsor mid-podcast mockery with Bruce at tweakedaudio.com/40 and a bunch of nameless, faithless people who keep sending me money. I'll get these emails, and some guy they sent me something, and actually the guy apologized in the last one. He's like, I know it was supposed to go to Kickstarter, but oh well. And then he just sent it to my house. Not to my house, that's weird, by courier. Every time you guys buy something from tweakedaudio.com/40, they send a pigeon out with money tied to its leg that flies to my house. And hopefully it's not intercepted by the falcons who lurk in my courtyard. That would be awful. That's and that's the metaphor for our economy, folks. All of the pigeons with my money in it, and there's the predatory falcons right out there waiting to take them down. All right. You okay? Your arms look tired after that. Sure, because you're making bacon. You almost look like you were doing a hula. That was the weirdest stance. I liked it. It was a good look. All right. And the good news is I just spent 7 minutes on something that you did physically that nobody can fucking see on a goddamn radio show.
I think you described it well.
Actually, folks, you can see it. This is going to sound crazy. If you put your eye up really close to your iPod vagina hole, put your eye up as close as you can to the iPod vagina and just stare in there, you'll see Lily making bacon and getting head. She's like, hey. She looks like she's surfing. So yeah, peek in your iPod vagina and you'll see it. All right. Or maybe we should be one of those shows that puts up like a chapter thing, like a artwork for every chapter. That's more work for you, though. You don't want to do it. And your hands are full. I can't put anything else on your plate. Your hands are full, as we all just saw. Holy shit. Take a look in your iPod vagina. You'll see just how full her hands are. Why am I trying to create more work for the poor girl? She's got bacon to make and head to get. Holy shit. Forget I mentioned it. Wow. All right. So, folks, how are you? What the fuck was I talking about before I spiraled into that? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. Bacon lube. Yeah, I don't get it. Not a fan. If you're gonna, all right, if you want flavors during sex, then bring actual food into it. You know what I mean? If you want to go like honey, look, I can tell you, folks, honey is a pretty good flavor to have for sex. All right, it's not bad. I don't know if I care so much about chocolate, because it's like you need a lot of water if you're going, because all right, yeah, chocolate works, but it just, never mind. All right, what the fuck am I gonna say?
This is gonna be a
Pardon me?
podcast.
Sure it is. Yeah,
Many foods of sex with Mike.
Sure. You have not lived. Never mind. I can't. I won't. No point. Nobody wants to know that. That's disgusting. People are horrified already. Yeah, sure they are. They're just like, please don't. Oh my God. I got news for you. Once I talked about choking a guy out while he was jerking off, you could hear the clicks all across America as people just fucking snapped off their iPods or yanked their cords right out of their iPod vaginas. Yank. Done. That's my favorite Family Guy thing ever. Not really. My favorite is Stewie playing Simon, but also I love fucking Peter Griffin yelling "done" in a theater. All right, nobody cares. Red, green, blue, blue. That's Stewie playing Simon. Awesome. So it's like the cutest baby thing he's ever done in any of the shows, like what an actual baby would do. Never mind. All right. Look, I know a lot of people out there hate Family Guy, and they think it's just a series of cutaways and stuff. I don't need plot in a cartoon. I don't give a fuck if it's a bunch of jokes. That's what I want to see, is a bunch of goddamn jokes. Holy shit. That's why I tune into a cartoon to see a bunch of fucking cutaway jokes. I don't need a story, all right? South Park does a story, and they do it great, and they're also fucking hysterical, all right? That's fine. And so if I want that, I know I can go to South Park. But if I just want to watch a fucking joke festival, like a Gatling gun of fucking stupidity coming at me, I watch Family Guy. Why not? I'm 44, man, and I'm tired of telling anybody what's good and what's bad. I just am. I mean, you like what you like, and that's it. I like what I like, and that's it. You're not going to change my mind or convince me. If you think things are good, you can tell me, and I'm happy to check them out and see if I think that they're good. But don't tell me what I like is bad. I'm fucking tired of it, especially in comedy. You know what? Trying to make people laugh is fucking hard. It's hard, and it's noble. Whether you think so or not, it's fucking noble. So, look, I don't want to go pay to see Carrot Top, but there's a bunch of people out there who want to see fucking Carrot Top, and they want to pay to see him, and good for them. If they got that kind of money they can burn and waste on something that I don't really care for, good for them. I'm serious. I wouldn't pay to see. Have I ever talked about the night I spent with Carrot Top on here? Well, yeah, okay, that doesn't sound good. Sure. Making bacon. He's fucking. I'm choking him. He's making bacon. Holy shit. Thank God he made the bacon and I choked him. Because if he would have choked me and I would have made the bacon with those fucking arms on him, I'd be dead. Dead at the feet of Carrot Top. And then he would have stolen my pants jerky and made a puppet out of it or some bullshit. Fuck you, Carrot Top. Leave my pants jerky alone. I can't say fuck you, Carrot Top. I met him and he's nice. He's so nice. Jesus Christ, I hung out with him for an entire night. For hours. Have I ever told this story? Fuck. You know what? I can't do it now. I'll tell it another time. Make a note of it. I got to talk about Carrot Top another time. But fuck, I'm just so tired of people telling you what's bad. I just, how about you tell me what's good or what you like? But then I'll talk about The Walking Dead for 4 hours about how fucking horrible it is. I mean, it's seriously. All right, look, everybody talk about whatever you want. Forget what I just said. All that bullshit I just said, take it out. But I'm just tired of people criticizing people that are trying to be funny or trying to be comedians. It's like, Gallagher or fucking Carlos Mencia. Carlos Mencia is back, and look. All right, I don't care for Carlos Mencia. I don't think he's funny. And I saw him before he was Carlos Mencia. I saw him when I first started doing comedy in 91. I would see him here in L.A., and I would watch him destroy rooms, fucking destroy. And it's so funny. If people think that he got famous and he became the guy who stole material and was like a dick on stage, no. No, he had that reputation in 91, and in 91, he actually was a guy who would go long. They always talk about bumping comics or coming in and do that. In 91, I saw him one night at a club called the Club Shout, which was fucking... look, nobody wanted to do Club Shout, all right? Let's put it this way. Nobody white wanted to do Club Shout. But we would do it because they paid. There was money. You know what I mean? And if you had a short set, you were okay. Like, I mean, you could make it happen and go up there and tap dance through it. And the audiences were kind of nice, but they liked what they liked. They liked, more of a minority type comedy. You know what I mean? Hispanics. That doesn't sound right. It was a minority audience. It was like Hispanics and people like that. So they tended to laugh at their own a lot more than they laughed at white dudes. But they would give you a chance. They weren't awful. But and also I should tell you, if they didn't like you, they didn't boo the shit out of you and try to get you off stage. They tolerated you until someone came up and talked about a horn that made a great noise. But the second a white guy tries to do La Cucaracha, forget it. All right. So I'm on stage there one night. My buddy Kelly Moran is headlining, the late Kelly Moran. He's now unfortunately passed away. But he was going to headline, and we were from Orange County, but then we would go to, I think Club Shout was in Long Beach. And this guy, Benson, what the fuck was his first? I don't know. All right, let's put it this way. It was his club. He booked it, and he would like perform all over. And his big routine, he was a black guy, and his big routine was he would actually reach in his pants and pull out his cock. But it wasn't his cock. He had like an 18-inch black Long John Silver dildo that was like, it looked just like a cock. And he would pull it out, and then he would pull it out of the pants, and then he would pass it around the audience, and it would be a big deal. And yes, and everybody would giggle and laugh. And but it was the Club Shout, and it was his room, and he was the guy who would set the tone for the night. So that was another reason why you didn't want to go up there and follow him, because he's pulling out his his big black cock. So so I would go up, and I did my time, and Carlos was middling at that night for Kelly, and I'm in the back of the room with Kelly, and Carlos gets up there and just levels the place. That's right. It was worth 3 sounds escaping my throat before I said levels. I had to wind up on levels to let you know how badly he destroyed this room, to the point where he was doing time and he was doing his thing. He used to do a bit. I don't know if he still does it, where he would put a stocking on his head. And because they were talking about robbing people, and he would put the stocking on his head, and they would pull it back, and they think I'm Chinese because it would pull his eyes back. I don't remember. It was a signature bit for a long time, but it didn't matter because he didn't even get to it because he's going on and on and on and on. He's supposed to do 20, and at 25 he's still going, and at 30 he's still going, and crushing. It's not like he was overstaying his welcome. If he would have left, they would have gone. There would have been a universal like they were so into him. And actually, then he got Benson to Joe Benson. Joe Benson's a DJ. Doug Benson's a comic. I forget this guy's name. His last name was Benson though, and he calls him up on stage, and so he and Carlos start doing improv with the cock. They pull the cock out, and you're like, oh hey man, whatever the fuck. That was my imitation of Carlos. And finally, like 48 minutes. It was 48 minutes into his set. He busts out the stocking. So now I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't kill enough that you're going to now do your signature bit on top of it? And Kelly's sweating his fucking balls off because he's got to follow it. And he's supposed to close and headline, and he's a keyboard act. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, Kelly's got a keyboard. He can probably get through this, though, because he sings and he does stuff. Not sings, but he does a bunch of parody stuff. So I'm thinking, well, he could probably make it work. But then Carlos busts out the stocking, and I honestly think there may have been a mushroom cloud over the club. I mean, it was just... Look, they always say that they don't know anything about cold fusion. Fuck that. It was discovered that night at the club when Carlos Mencia put the stocking on his head and then pulled it back and said he thinks he's Chinese. I don't know if I've ever heard a louder noise in a fucking club other than like Dane Cook at the Improv when I saw him. It was this fucking crazy, and this is in 91 before he was anybody. I mean, he was just collecting scalps there, and I mean, he blew the doors off, and Kelly's just looking at me, and I'm just like, hey, you're gonna be fine. Oh. And then Kelly went up and just swam in shit for, I think he only did 30 because Benson gave him the light or whatever. But because he had the keyboard, and but Kelly also wasn't that. Look, I like Kelly. He's dead. I can't talk ill of him. But he also wasn't that confident of a performer. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't going well early, he would get this smarmy, like he was a angry guy like me, and he would get really angry. But he kind of detached himself from the experience and just got through it, which is good for him because he didn't want to get angry in that room. Because then next thing you know, he's hitting a bunch of waves of people who are coming at him, and he's fighting them all with a keyboard. As I'm trying, he's like Benjamin in The Graduate. They're swinging that fucking cross at everybody as we try to get out the fucking glass doors. How the fuck did I spin off into Carlos? Oh, because you know what? Because people make fun of him and whatever. He's coming back or he's not coming back, and people hate him, and a lot of people hate. Yes, I hate him too, and stealing material is fucking awful, and it's a terrible thing to do. I don't know. I'm just tired of people telling you what's good and what isn't. And I spend too much time on the internet, I suppose. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I gotta shut up. Why did I fucking spiral into this? You know why? Because I read an article on Carlos in the New York Times, and you know he did Maron's podcast and he got kind of exposed there, and you know Rogan has exposed him and all this different stuff. And then I read the article in the New York Times, and they tried to humanize him because he's got a daughter or whatever the fuck. He's got a wife, and reading it, I'm just like, this guy hasn't learned a fucking thing, not one fucking thing. My favorite part is when he talks about how I could have said some really awful things about those two, but I didn't want to be them. And I'm like, dude, you don't even want to be you.
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious. Look, so I just invalidated everything that I just said. God damn it! I just because you know why? Because I read that article on Carlos yesterday, and right after I read that Patrice had died. I don't know Patrice O'Neal. Never met him in my fucking life. But I would, from his appearances everywhere that I would see him, I don't know if I could find a funnier guy in bursts. I mean, fucking Elephant in the Room, if you haven't seen it, is fucking amazing. The special was amazing. I can't even, I'm not going to go into bits, but just listen to it and buy it. You have to hear it. But even funnier, here's why I think he's so funny, because he was funny talking. All right, that was his act or whatever, an Elephant in the Room, and he was so smooth at it. I mean, I envy that, to be able to just throw off funny and to look like you're doing it effortlessly. It's just that's an amazing trick. And to watch Patrice O'Neal do it was the fucking greatest. He would be on that Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, and he was so goddamn funny all the time. He'd be on CNN, and he was so goddamn funny. On Opie and Anthony, I don't even fucking listen to Opie and Anthony, but I would find it on YouTube if Patrice was on, because he is just devastating. And the stuff, my favorite thing at the roast, I don't watch the roasts, all right, for a few reasons. One of which is that I'm jealous I'm not involved. I won't lie to you. I wish to God I was writing jokes or at least involved in some way, because I think I could fucking do it. But so it pains me to watch it. I actually get almost like nauseous. I know it's stupid, it's dumb, but it's because I'm angry at myself for not having put myself in a position where I could actually be involved in something like that. You don't care, I don't care. But the one they just did, the Charlie Sheen roast, where basically everybody destroyed Patrice for some reason, like they all went after Patrice. When that fucking was it Amy Schumer who said the thing about there was more the thing about. God damn it, I can't remember what the fuck it was. But it was something, basically the punchline was Patrice's grandmother after a gospel brunch.
Yes.
And then they cut, and she said something about diabetes and the good luck losing your foot. Patrice!
Yes.
And they show him, and he makes this face, this one beat confused face. Like again, more stuff that you can't see. But just like he furrows his brow and looks around like, oh, like he didn't expect that one. And the thing was, afterwards, everybody's like, "Oh, I felt bad for Patrice. He was really getting killed up there." And it's just like, "Well, no, that's what a roast is, and he knew it was coming. Trust me." And he thought it was just as funny as everybody else, but he didn't fall out laughing. He sold it a different way by like making this semi-hurt face. Oh, god damn it! It made me laugh so hard. Just his face, why me? Why me? Because that's another great thing to do at a roast is when you just make a face like, "What? Seriously?" Like pretend like you're not supposed to be getting made fun of. Oh, god damn it! Especially from little Amy Schumer, who nobody expected to fucking come up there with guns blazing. God damn it. Fucking fantastic. I guess, I never get to see Patrice O'Neal live, and it just drives me crazy. I mean, because every time I could see him, I would. I mean, every time I watched him online and tried to just devour what he did, because I thought he was so good at it and he was so funny. It's like Geraldo. I mean, it's just, Geraldo and Patrice O'Neal are dead? Really? So then when I say, I guess what I mean is when I say that people make fun of people to try to make them laugh, or they're mad at comics who aren't funny, and making people laugh is hard, and it's a fucking noble thing. And when people who are really good at it disappear, we don't have enough funny people in the world to fucking lose them like that. And so, I don't know. But I guess you can go the other way and go, why is Patrice dead and fucking Carlos Mencia is still alive? But I don't want anybody to be dead. What the fuck? You just turn the channel again. Flip channels. Don't watch them. Folks, I am way too comfortable at this. I mean, I have things I'm supposed to talk about today. I actually have stuff. Like last week, I got sick of my own voice. Like I didn't want to talk, and so we threw a clip in, and we had some fun with that. But this week, I actually have things to get to, and I just spent 19 minutes telling you about comedy and comedians and never even reaching a cogent point. And teased the only interesting thing, teased the Carrot Top thing, and then never got to it because I have too much to talk about. Folks, there's too much on my plate. No room for carrots. All right. Idiot. But I swear to God, that this started somewhere. There was something else that we were talking about. I don't fucking know. This would be time for mid-podcast mockery, actually. What time is it? Where are we at?
We're at 48.
48, 80, so that's 96. This might not be mid-podcast just yet. All right, we'll see. No, it is. I gotta shut up. So, folks, I was in Milwaukee last week. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did a show in Milwaukee, and it was in Wisconsin. I left Wednesday. Remember last week I did a Tuesday record because I was leaving Wednesday to get on the plane and all that stuff. And all right, first of all, let's talk about how dumb I am for booking a Wednesday flight before Thanksgiving. All right, we get that, right? The most vicious travel day of the year, the most miserable. Like when the news is using words like miserable to describe something, the most miserable travel day of the year. And because, all right, I could have flown right into Milwaukee. All right, and just gotten there like Thursday night, but then and then Friday, people were very nice. People offered to bring me over for Thanksgiving, like a pet, like I was a Tamagotchi. I was like a Furby. They're gonna bring me in their house and then feed me so I didn't die. But I decided I was close enough to Chicago that I could go ahead and fly into town. Oh, but all right, let me go ahead and talk about this real quick. I mentioned my mom going to Florida, and she wasn't going to be there for Thanksgiving. So, my mom hasn't called me since that conversation where she's like, all right, Dan's coming with a pizza, and I'll talk to you later about Florida. Well, I haven't heard from her. All right, and I know I'm the son. I'm supposed to pick up a goddamn phone. I get that, but I don't want to call because they're packing or getting ready to go. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. So I didn't call on Thanksgiving because they're in Florida as far as I know. I don't know where they are. So I didn't talk to them, and I didn't talk to them all weekend. And yesterday, I guess my mom called the house and talked to Karen and is like, why didn't Michael call me on Thanksgiving? And Karen's like, because you're in Florida? Aren't you traveling? And she goes, well, is it in my mobile phone? And yeah, I got your mobile phone, but you could have fucking called me too. I mean, you could have, because you were the one who left it open-ended and vague. You were the one who left it with, look, I don't know what the fuck's going on in my future. We're moving to Florida. So well, you know where I am. I still got the same numbers, so kind of call me and let me know what's happening. But I guess I'm supposed to call them. It's that weird, all right, because I have a weird thing with staying in contact with my family anyway. I mean, I've gone, one time I didn't call my mom for like 7 months. Because I was in Tahoe and things were going to hell. It was bad, and so I didn't want it. What was the point? I was going to call her and go, "Hey, things are awful here." I mean, so to me, it just, I guess you're supposed to call and lie and say that things are okay. But I instead just shined it, and she didn't have a number to get me at, so I just kind of went underground for about 7 months. So I'm getting into a point now, especially like I said, all my friends, people are getting sick and, parents. So I'm like, well, I should really make an effort more to talk to my mom. Because I would call her once every 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll call her every week now. But then I call and she's going to Florida and then she doesn't call me and whatever the fuck. All right, you don't care. And didn't I just say I'm too comfortable with this? Why am I telling you fucking people this? God damn it. So I was going to go to Milwaukee, all right? But instead I decided to go into Chicago early, and I just went to Max's house. So I flew in Wednesday. As I mentioned, it's the worst travel day of the year. I mean, I'm sitting there trying to get I got a hotel, because I booked a hotel in Milwaukee for Friday, because I needed to go there and get, I got a shower in Milwaukee, folks. I have to shower in every city that I play in. It's just a thing. I have that in my brain. Well, because I couldn't shower in Chicago on Friday and then drive up to Milwaukee. It's 2 hours in the car. By the time I get up there, I'm dirty. It's like, that's not good. Squint your eyes and think that. But in my brain, I'm dirty. All right. I need to be clean before the show. I need to get clean and then go right to the show. I like to shower right before the show. It's what I do. All right. I will not be judged. Fuck that. I shower right before I do things. I don't understand people who shower in the morning and then sit around and then go out, do their thing. If I'm going out, I'm taking a shower no matter what. I don't care if I showered that morning or not. I like to be clean. Fuck that. Hop in the Shambo. Get it done. That's right. The Shambo. All right. Never mind. That made me laugh. So I'm going to travel on Wednesday. And I'm going to go to Dave's, be there Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday morning I'll drive up to Milwaukee, check into my hotel, and then I'll fly out Saturday. That was the plan. Except, again, Wednesday's the most miserable travel day, and then Sunday is supposed to be the worst, is also because people are coming back. So I figured I was at least cutting it out on the back end by leaving on Saturday from Chicago. Okay. This is a lot of talk about traveling without going anywhere. How ironic. There's a lot of talk about being in motion without moving a fucking inch. So I got prepared to leave on Wednesday is my point. And so I was sitting down to rent the car, and I had to rent and get a hotel. I got a pretty good, first of all, I got a fucking great deal on a hotel. I went to Priceline and kicked in. Because I always search for 3.5 stars or up. Because I refuse. Look, I'm better than that. I'm not a 3-star guy. I'm a 3.5-star guy, folks. Or above. And I got a room at the fucking Hilton for like $60, or no, $50. It was $50 plus taxes and stuff. Amazing. At the downtown Hilton in Milwaukee, and I'm like, that's fantastic. And then I got the car. It was a little high, but I don't fucking care. And I just couldn't wait to get shoehorned into some old people mobile in fucking Chicago. So I get ready for Wednesday, and I go to check in the night before, and I'm online, and they give you this notice where it was United, and it said, "Hey, do you want to move up to different seating? There's more legroom." And actually, it didn't say that, but it kind of said that. It said that in words, and I read it like that in my head. It was probably more business-like than that, but in my head, I was like, "Hey!" It was like a pedophile handing out candy to children. "Hey, who wants to get in my van? It's got 5 inches more legroom." So I looked at it, and because you're checking in, and it gives you this offer. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck. It's going to be so crowded and so fucking miserable at the airport, and the flight's going to be death. Yeah, you know what? I'm worth it. I'm worth fucking 5 inches, right? So I look, and it was $50, and I'm like, $10 an inch, which is the going rate. I don't know if you're aware of that, folks. So in my head, I'm like, well, $10 an inch, but I'm worth it. I'm certainly worth it. So I said, all right, you know what? I'll do it. I'll move up because my seat in economy in steerage was full. Everything was completely full. But over in the business class that we were getting bumped up to, there were empty seats, like middle seats. So I was going to have nobody next to me. That, of course, is going to change, but at the time, it looked good. So I go ahead and I buy it. I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it, $50. So it adds that in, and it goes. And I should say I got a real good deal on this flight because I started looking like 6 weeks ago. And when you're traveling for Thanksgiving, there's no deals at all. But somehow I wound up getting a pretty good, a flight to Chicago for like $300, which,
Wow.
was good. So in my head, I'm like, I got a little bit of money to play with here. That's fine. $50 on the hotel, and the car was a little, who cares? So I try to budget it out and figure out the cash. Because like it all comes out in the wash. Because in New York, you know what I mean? You're paying huge money. So it worked out. So then I do that screen, and then the very next screen comes up, and it says, "Would you like to have Premier Security?" What it is if you folks aren't aware with what Premier Security is, if you haven't flown or you've been in the airport in a while, security is this Bataan death march, all right, where you just stand behind a bunch of velvet ropes and you shuffle like 3 inches up and 3 inches back, which is $30 either way. And you're waiting and waiting. You're just miserable, and people are sliding their luggage, and I don't like it because I wind up putting my earbuds in security, and then I'm just burning plane time. So in my opinion, I'm like, oh fuck, that means if the battery dies on the plane, would I rather listen here or listen up there? It's just a choice I don't like to make. Premier Security, yeah, I'm an idiot. Premier Security is you pay extra, and you get to skip the line. You just get to walk right to the front of security. You don't have to wait in the giant zigzag. I should tell you that I learned of Premier Security a couple of Christmases ago. Karen and I checked in, and we went to the airport, and they said, "Hey, would you guys want Premier Security?" We're like, "I don't know, what does that mean?" They go, "Well, you can skip the line," and it was at the time this one it was like $30 each. That's all we had to pay. And I looked at this line, and let's put it this way: I looked at the person standing next to me. They were the end of the line. And it was like a half a terminal away, and I went, yeah, I'll do that. So we paid $60. This is when we were going to Hawaii, I think, or no, around Christmas. And then we walked over to the security line, and they go, "Oh, you're going here." And folks, it's so glorious to walk through the Premier Security line. You shouldn't even have to walk. It should be, first of all, it should be a moving walkway. Fuck that. You know what? It should be like a barge, like a Cleopatra barge. Like you should be able to sit on it, and then like guys who are naked from the waist up just carry it to your fucking destination. That'd be fantastic. But that's what it's like anyway. You feel that because you see all these people just sweating and miserable and standing in the line, and you get to breeze right by them, and they're furious. They're so angry, and you just want to go, $30. You could have done this for $30 fucking dollars. Literally, it's 40 minutes or $30, your choice. And because I am a fucking spendthrift idiot who doesn't care about his future, I'm always happy to cash in $30 for ease and convenience. And we walked right through, went right to the security. I think, we were just basking in the glow of being ahead of everybody. I think I actually thumbed my nose at a couple of people and laughed like an infant. You know what I mean? Like turned around and stuck my tongue out. You know what I mean? That bullshit. So that was my first experience with Premier Security. So when it came up on the screen, it said, "Do you want Premier Security?" It was only $54.
Jesus Christ.
So it went up from 30. And what pissed me off even more is it was the second screen. If that's the first screen, I buy it and I don't think twice, and then I don't need 5 inches of fucking leg room. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. But I'm on the plane before anybody else. It's fucking beautiful. You get to board. It's just fantastic. And you just go right to sleep. Oh, it's so comforting. You go to sleep. So I've already bought the leg room. So then the Premier Security comes up and I'm like, fuck, God, why would you do this to me? Why wouldn't you ask that first? If you would have asked that first, I would have taken it. But then it dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? It's Wednesday. It's the most miserable travel day of the year. Already I'm preparing for battle. Already I know it's going to be a fucking slog. It's going to be terrible. I go, come on, you're worth it. You saved a little money on the airfare already. So I got it. So I bought the Premier Security. So now I spend $50 for legroom and then $54 more for Premier Security. So my $300 flight is now $454. And then I got to pay to put a bag on the plane. That's $25. Hey, that's $475, folks. But I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? I don't care. It works out. It comes out in the wash. Everything's fine. Because we did okay ticket sales in Milwaukee. I was fine with it. So I get the Premier Security at home, and I'm excited. And what I did was Tuesday night, I worked in Graveyardville, and then I was going to stay up. My flight was at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So my goal, what I was going to do was I was going to leave for the airport at 9:30. Because I knew it was going to be death traffic. And I wanted to be there 2 hours before. In my head, I'm like, why? You can breeze right through security. Dude, you're going to be on the barge, the Cleopatra barge. But I don't care. Just in case. I know it's going to be fucking terrible. I don't want to deal with miserable people. All sorts of fucking... Because I'll be honest with you. I even changed my passenger costume this time, folks. I put on instead of wearing my flannel and my baseball hat and sweatpants, they're out. It's out. Because I'm losing weight. I'm changing my passenger costume. I went with jeans. I went with a fucking hoodie, and I went with another jacket over it. And it was like armor. I had elbow pads. I had a fucking like a war helmet and a war club because I knew I was gonna have to fucking stormtroop my way through a bunch of million motherfuckers just to get to my goddamn plane because it's awful. It's so awful. The airport at the holidays is death. So, but the good news is I'm armed with fucking 5 inches of leg room and a breeze right through security. So I'm actually confident where I'm going. Well, it's not going to be that miserable. For everybody else, it will be, and I can't wait to laugh at them. So the next morning I get up, I pack, we get everything squared away, and then I go to the airport. Leave at 9:30, and we get on the freeway, the 405, and there's nobody really on the freeway. We're blazing through, and I'm like, this is weird. When I say nobody on the freeway, I mean it. I'm talking, there might have been like 3 other cars for some reason on the 405. Nobody was there. And then in my head, you're always in LA, if you're ever in some smooth traffic where nothing's bad, you're immediately in your head going, well, obviously there's a Godzilla stomping people like a mile up. I mean, there's no reason for there to be no traffic. There either a mile back, there is a raging forest fire, or 2 miles up, people have been warned that there's a monkeypox outbreak. You know what I mean? It's like, so don't come toward the airport. And me and 4 other idiots didn't turn the radio on that morning, and we're just heading there, ready to just get fucking bitten. So I don't fucking care. I'm driving around the 405, and there's nothing. I mean, it's completely empty. And I usually leave for the airport. I take these really early flights or red eyes. So I'm used to just getting to the airport in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Same thing. Even at 9:30, I get to the airport by 10 o'clock. Which is astonishing to me. I can't believe it happened. So as I pull up, and then we get to the airport, you gotta, because now I know this is where the horrible part is, okay? Because the 405 isn't the main artery in. So then in my head I went, you know what? Everybody took La Cienega because they all thought fucking 405 was gonna be terrible. And I'm a genius. I went the regular way instead of going La Cienega. They're all fucking trapped on these streets going bumper to bumper, and here I am blazing through the 405. It's fantastic. Because again, no monkeypox. We drove no monkeypox anywhere. So I get off at Century Boulevard, and I go, you curve around to the right, and then I have to turn to the left. You pass to the left, and you sail to the right, as Justin Timberlake would say. And so I get off, and there's nobody even at the off-ramp. I turn left, and I get up to Century Boulevard and Aviation Boulevard, and there's nothing. There's no cars. And as we get closer to the airport, because I'm waiting, because usually it's lined up way outside of the airport, especially at the holidays. And even worse, they got the fucking cops out in force, so they get that Swiffer that they put into your car to look for bombs. You know that thing? It's like like a weird lever. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with it. It looks like a huge dental mirror with a Swiffer on the end of it, and then they put it into your car and they like shine it. I don't know what they're looking. They're looking for a bomb on your axle, I suppose. But they don't want to dirty up their fancy uniform, as I mentioned. But oh, Jesus, cops are more gay than war, because they all wear their nice little matching outfits. All right, so I am really gonna get beaten up.
You are.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking Rodney King'd. We sail through. It's not even cops there with the Swiffer. They just go right through. There's nobody lined up. Here's how dead it was. All right, I flew Delta this time. We pull up by Delta. There's only like 3 cars. We got a spot right on the curb. You never get a spot on the curb. Usually it's super shuttles and buses and all sorts of people vying for that fucking curb space, and I have to be let off in the middle of the street with people honking. Matter of fact, the car just is rolling. It's moving, and I have to leap out with my luggage and do a fucking barrel roll. But we pulled up luxuriously right to the goddamn curb, and I'm looking at it, I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. What is happening? So I get out, I go to the porter guy, and I roll inside to check my bag, and the airport is empty. There's nobody in the airport, and it's like I said, it's like 10:15 in the morning. How the fuck is there nobody there flying? I mean, I look at the board. It's so busy, supposedly. There's 4 different flights to Chicago on Delta within 4 hours. Like almost every hour in the hour, they're leaving for Chicago from LAX. And but I don't know who's getting on those planes. They're filled with ghosts. LA was flying all of their ghosts to Chicago for Thanksgiving. And the board, there's plenty of flights, but I'm looking and there's no one. I roll in and I go, hey, where does my bag go? She goes, right over there. I roll up. They take my bag. They fucking print out the thing. And I go, okay. So I walk off and I turn the corner and there's like some Delta people there. And then I see, finally. Remember how I said there's nobody in the airport? Well, that's true. There's nobody in the airport where I am by the gates because they are all in security. I come walking up, I see 3 Delta people, and then I see the security. I mean, I've never seen a larger security line. It was just they're all in the velvet rope, zig, 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 and then down, all the way down to the end of the terminal. Which is, if you've ever flown into or out of Las Vegas on Southwest, you know what I'm talking about. Southwest is so horrible. And everybody takes it because it's so cheap. So then you'll go to the airport and you'll see the Southwest line it'll be blocks. I mean, it'll be blocks for people trying to get into security. I did it once, and not because I wanted to. I flew into Vegas because of the game show when they made me pay for an extra ticket, and I swore in my head I go never again. I mean, I won't fly Southwest anyway because of the fat policy. But in my head I was like, no, I can't do it. That's fucking ridiculous. I won't stand in that fucking line. So I saw the security and I was like, oh, because in my head I know luxuriously. I get to walk on their shoulders. Literally, and I might as well just do that. They might as well just hire one of the people from security, because I bet I could do that if I said, hey, I will give anybody here free passage through this line if you carry me and my luggage through. Like remember I said there should be a Cleopatra barge? If I had just 8 people throw me on their shoulders like I won the Super Bowl and carry me through, I'm sure they would do it. I'm sure they would fucking do it just to get out of that security line. Why wouldn't you? And so I walk up and I'm like, I'm confidently smiling. I'm happy to see the security now. I'm like, I can't wait to walk past all these idiots. So I go walking up, and there's, like I said, there was 3 Delta employees there, and they're kind of forming a human cordon. They're like standing there, and I look at them, and they go, hey, oh, no, it's too full. I go, oh, that's okay. I have the premier security. I'm not going to be in the line. They go, no, it's too full. Like, it's too busy here. They don't even want to take anybody. So just go upstairs. I go, what do you mean go upstairs? They go, well, just go upstairs. I go, to a waiting room? For what? What are you talking about? And they're like, no, there's a security upstairs. Just go right up there. And I go, oh, all right, well, that's fine. So I mean, it was so full, they're not even letting people in. It's like it's just swollen, full of this teeming mass of humanity. So I turn around and I go walking back, and the only way to get upstairs, there's no escalator, it's an elevator. So you got to stand there and wait with fucking everybody. But when I say everybody, there's not many. There's like 4 people with me, 4 or 5. So the escalator or the elevator opens, people get off, we get on, and more people get on, but they're leaving. They're going to a parking level, whatever the fuck. And then we finally go upstairs to where the security is, and the door opens. And there's a guy standing there from Delta, and he goes, hey, security's over here. So he points, and we look, and there's a TSA, there's a checkpoint with the conveyor belts and the fucking scanner, all of it. And there's nobody in line at this security checkpoint. Nobody. It's just a bunch of fucking guys in uniforms and rubber gloves and their thumbs up their ass, patting each other down, trying to stay busy. I don't know, fuck, practicing their pat downs on each other. And I look and I see that, and everybody in the elevator is just like, oh, awesome. They're like so happy. Yeah. And all I could think about is I paid $50 to cut to the front of the line of security. And there is no line at security. You dumb motherfuckers. I'm mad at them. I'm mad at me. I'm mad at TSA, quite frankly. I'm mad at Los Angeles. Where the fuck are you, my people? You're supposed to be flying. So I mope. That's the only word I can use. I moped over to security. Everybody else is just springing their step. They're all excited. They get there and they get in their line. And I mope. Like just fucking bottom lip out. Sad. And I walk up and there's nobody taking IDs. That's how unbusy they are. They didn't even have anybody on the post. There's just TSA guys by the conveyor belt, but there's nobody looking at the IDs and stamping your thing. So we go there and everybody gets in line, and I'm just standing there. And then finally a TSA agent, a woman, walks out, and she goes to go to the podium. And I walk up to her, and I go, hey, I'm dumb. So I actually bought the $50 Premier Security. And she goes, oh, well, yeah, well, there's your line right over there. I said, what? She goes, yeah, you just go stand right there. And I look, and there's the regular security line with the 5 people that are on the elevator with me. And then there's another line. It's just a lonely, like, empty strap. She goes, that's where you stand. So I go, okay. So I mope over, and I get in that line. And a couple guys come over, and they're like, and they give you the speech. They're like, all right, take your pants jerky off, take your fucking, everything, get it all off. And I got to tell you guys this, too, by the way. I've lost like 45 pounds in the last few months. I need my pants jerky. Okay, I need it, or else we're going right down to the ankles, and it's not even a joke. Like I'm wearing a pair now. You could fit a lot more of me in these pants. So if I have to take my belt off, I will literally be holding them up like Dennis the Menace. Terrible. So in my head, I'm just like, I'm just not going to take my belt off and hope that they don't say anything. So I get in the security line, and the guys gives the speech, and they walk over and they go, all right, let's get ready to go. And the woman at the podium goes, all right, sir. And she points at me. And I'm like, yes, indeed. So I shoot a look over at the other 5 people. And the thing is, there's 5 people. There's fucking 5 people. At $50 I paid, I could have actually, honestly, I could have given each of them $10 a head and asked them to let me go ahead of them. And it would have been just as effective, and then the fucking airlines wouldn't have gotten my $50 fucking dollars. $54. Fuck. So, but sure enough, they're in line, and then I'm over, and she calls me first. And even though she calls me first, even though I'm standing over there, and I don't know if they listen to me or not, these people, there's 5 of them. 5 of them start to grumble. Like, oh, why is that guy first? But there's 5 of you, motherfuckers. And in my head, I'm like pissed. Because I've lost my advantage. I don't get to look at them because, if you're down in the huge line and then you see me breeze through Premiere, you know that I spent the money. Well, up there with just 5 people and 1 person, it doesn't have anywhere near the same effect because they're all thinking, well, just who cares if you paid? Get in line like the rest of us. Fuck. So I didn't get to gloat or anything. So I felt sheepish. I had to be sheepish about paying $50. I was sheepish. I don't want to be sheepish. I wanted to gloat. That's pretty close to sheep and goat. Either way, I felt bad. So, ha. But you know what? Do me a favor. Unplug your iPod. Don't ever listen. Don't listen to the rest of the show. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It is not worth it after that fucking horrible joke. Don't you dare write that down as a possible title. All right. So I'm there. They call me forward. These people start to grumble. And there's a guy in the front of the line. He's the most vocal. Like, he's the one trying to rally everybody. And all right, let me describe this guy again. He was truly the whitest man I've ever seen in my life. Just the whitest, waspiest. He looked like, literally, like he had a herringbone jacket with a tweed pattern and elbow pads and a pipe in his mouth and just an ascot. And if you cut him with a razor blade, he would have bled mayonnaise. I mean, he was that fucking white bread of a guy. He was Harvard in pants. I mean, it was just that fucking dude. He looked. There's a guy who looks like that on TV. A guy named Jeffrey Zakarian. He's a chef, and he always is a judge on Chopped. This is what this guy looked like. Just white, fucking white out. This just like a walking snowstorm. It was grim. So sure enough, he starts grumbling when I walk up, and I go with my ID and I walk right to the thing, and I'm mad enough. All right, that I don't get to gloat, but when these guys start grumbling, finally he goes, "Excuse me, sir. And I look at him, and he just goes, "Sir, there's a line here. Why do you get to go ahead of everybody?" And the woman at the podium goes, he has premium security. And he steps forward and he goes, does he have any documentation to prove that he has premium security? Documentation. I'm not trying to get into Mexico. All right. Just fucking stand down. And sure enough, the woman's like, well, he says that he purchased it online. And he goes, well, we should probably see his documentation. And I look at him and I go, really? And he goes, well, I don't know why you need to go ahead of us. There's only 5 people here. And I go, yeah, there's only 5 fucking people here. Relax. And I did. I said that. I swore. I got right in his face. Because again, I was pissed. I was mad that I had to spend the $50. I'm mad that I don't get to gloat. And I was ready for battle. I fucking showed up at the airport, keyed up and tuned up and ready to do some stomping. I got my fucking big ass Doc Martens on. I got elbow pads. I'm ready to clean fucking house on everybody. This isn't a trip. This is a game of rollerball. Me and James Conn are going to go through that airport and take out bodies and just leave people laying in our wake. I'm excited and ready. And then fucking I don't get to use my rage on anybody. So it's all keyed up. And sure enough, fucking Whitey McWhiterson steps up. He's going to get it right full blast, both barrels. Yeah, there's only fucking 5 people here. Relax. And of course, he's just like, oh, that beast. You could see it in his face, and he actually flinched, and he looked at his wife, and his wife is swooning and clutching her pearls. Oh my, I couldn't possibly. Oh. So I just look, and the other people on the line they just want it over with, and I'm still holding his gaze, even though he's just kind of like looking away, and he's trying to calm down, honey, mumsy, whatever the fuck he called her, I don't know, some bullshit. But I walked up and I gave the woman my thing, and I walked through, and I went in, and so I go up to the bins and I take everything out. And in LA, they're really big on you have to have a separate bin for everything. So I have 3 bins. I got 1 bin for my laptop, 1 bin for my wallet and watch and shoes, another bin for my hoodie and my jacket. Like, they want everything separate. I did not take off my pants jerky, and luckily nobody said anything, because if they would have, again, that would have been even worse. Again, that guy, so I actually got in his face, and I was like, yeah, there's only fucking 5 people here, relax. And then I'm unloading stuff in the bin, and then he comes in, and folks, I just said that to you. I scared you, I scared your wife, I scared all of the ancestors that came off the Mayflower. They're all scared right now, back shivering. I scared the Ka you parked in Harvard Yard. I scared all of it. Why the fuck would you get in my line? Why? So sure enough, he comes over, he gets in my line. And he makes a big show of getting bins and skipping in front of me. He cuts in front of me because I'm building 3 bins full of stuff. I don't care. Okay? It wasn't a transgression. If you can get through faster than me, and again, it's small, there's nobody here, who gives a fuck? I'm still disassembling my fucking passenger costume and everything else so I can get through and just get on my plane. I just want to get out of here. So if you can go ahead of me, I do it all the time. If people show up and they have slip-off shoes and no laptop, go ahead of me, please. I'm not that guy. But I'm building my bins of everything, and he slides ahead of me, and he's putting his things in, and he's carrying, I should tell you this, he's carrying a velvet sash, and it's like, I can't even imagine what's in there, probably pate, you know what I mean, or some, he's like Lecter. Remember when Lecter had that like picnic on the fucking plane? That's what this guy's gonna do. He's got pate, he's got fucking, some charcuterie, I don't know what the fuck he's carrying. All I know is it's something fancy. Maybe it's Scrabble tiles. He's gonna bust them out and just spell privileged in the bin as it goes through the fucking scanner. I don't know. So he's there ahead of me. He's got the sash. He's putting his stuff in, and I slide my bins. And he opens the velvet sash, and he pulls out 2 bottles of wine. And he puts them down in the thing to get x-rayed, and starts rolling forward. And the TSA guy comes around and looks and goes, "What's that?" And the guy goes, "Oh, it's some excellent wine we picked up in New Zealand."
Oh my God.
And the TSA guy goes, "Well, you know you can't bring that on the plane." And he goes, "Why? What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense." And he goes, "Well, you can't. We only allow 3 ounces of liquid. I mean, it has to be in a small plastic container. You can't bring bottles of wine on the plane." And he goes, "Well, I don't understand. Why? It's just wine. It's sealed. It has a cork on it. You obviously can see that I've not tampered with it or opened it in any way." The TSA guy goes, "There's a sign right there. It says all beverages or any liquids need to be in a clear plastic container that's 3 ounces." And he goes, "Well, I was able to bring it on the plane from New Zealand." And he goes, "Well, I don't know how they do things in New Zealand, but I can tell you in Los Angeles, it's against the rules to bring it on the plane." And now he's holding up the line. He's talking to the guy, and my bins are there, and people are starting to get behind me because more people were coming upstairs on the elevator. So he goes, "Well, I don't understand this." And his wife is like, "Well, honey, it's okay." And he goes, "Well, no, I don't want to throw it away. I brought it from New Zealand, and they told me when I purchased them in New Zealand, I bought them right in the airport. They told me it wouldn't be a problem to carry on the plane, and it said they told me that I could bring them on the plane. And the TSA guy is looking at him, and I lean forward and I go, "Do you have any documentation from New Zealand that said you could bring those on the plane?" Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Zakarian. Get out of my way, whiteout. I gotta get on the plane. Schooled. Do you have any documentation from New Zealand that says you can bring that on the plane? Take that. Hilarity ensues in the airport. And he looks at me like down his nose. What, The TSA guy is just like, look, you can't bring it on the plane. And then he's like, well, I don't want to throw it away. It's excellent wine. Would you like it, sir? And he makes a big show of giving it to the TSA guy, and I just get past him. But it was just worth it to be able to say, hey, do you have any documentation from New Zealand? Just they both, that's right. Fuck off, El Blanco. So I whipped through the bins. I went through the scanner. Everything was fine. Again, nobody in the motherfucking airport. I get on the plane. I get my 5 extra inches of leg room, which was well worth paying for. I sit down, and there's nobody next to me. It was great. The middle seat was still empty, and then a woman came in, and she sat next to me. And I'm like, oh, man. I go, ma'am, I'm really sorry. I'm a big dude. I'll try to fly small, like I always say. And she goes, it's okay. And she was tiny. She was like real small. Like small. Like could have hidden my pocket and then called for Mothra while we were flying. Like tiny. And fucking sure enough, we're letting people on the plane, and she looks at the waitress, and she makes eye contact, and the waitress comes over, and she walks out into the aisle to talk to the waitress, and they found her another seat. Like she wanted a different seat, and they found her because there were empty middle seats behind me as well. But that was weird to me. Now I'm like, oh my God, she'd rather sit in a middle seat with those people than sit by me, because I wasn't even next to her or anything. But I looked at her and she smiled. She goes, now it'll be better for you. So she was doing it for me, which was really cool. So I had nobody next to me. I had fucking extra 5 inches of leg room, which I needed because when there was nobody next to me, boom, I needed that 5 inches quick. All right. So, anyway, so I flew into Chicago, got there Wednesday. I got so I go to rent my rental car. And again, I got a full size. And who was I with? Alamo this time. And I went in, and they're like, all right, well, and it was, look, holidays, because I will tell you this, I got my rental car like a week beforehand, and then the day before I went to Alamo, and they had no cars in Chicago, so I was like, yay, I'm smart. So I went, and I checked in, and I said, hey, it's full size. All right, well, the full size lot is right out there. You can take anything that's in the full size lot, but, we're very busy. I said, great. So I couldn't imagine the dregs that would be left out there. She said there was Altimas and Dodge Chargers and things like that. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, I can make that happen. So I've never driven a Dodge Charger. I want one. I just want to drive one. I want to rent one, but I never luck of the draw. So I walk out, go to the full size, and these Altimas were it was all white and gray, just a bunch of nonsense. It was terrible looking. And then all of a sudden I look, and there's a fucking... she tried to bump me into an SUV. I don't know if I told you that. She tried to bump me into an SUV it was an extra $11 a day. I'm like, nah, no thanks. So I go outside, and there's an SUV in the full size line, but not a full, like a crazy, it's not like a fucking, Escalade or anything, or Escalade, I don't even know. But poor people call it Escalade, I think. So, so that's what I'll call it. So, but it was a Hyundai Santa Fe. So it was basically their version of the Murano. So it was it was big, and it was in the full size, and I'm like, well, that car is a lie. I mean, that car is absolutely a lie. There's no way they're going to let me take that. But I scurried over, and I fucking threw my stuff inside to lay claim to it, and I start the car, and it's got every bell and every fucking Hyundai rules. I got to buy a goddamn Hyundai. If I ever get tired of Nissans, Hyundai's it. I drove the fucking, the Sonata, and now the Santa Fe. Jesus, those are nice cars. And it had a dashboard with all the, like I said, remember I was in the fucking Crown Victoria, and literally it had a radio knob and heat. Because old people don't need air. So it was bullshit. But the Santa Fe, it had a picture of me, and it said, hello, Michael. I mean, I turned it on. It was fucking fantastic. And I'm like I said, I'm literally sitting in it, almost like I'm stealing it. Like I had that same weird sensation that I was stealing this car. And I pulled out, and I drove, and I'm looking around waiting to get tackled. And I got to the gate, and this is the moment of truth, because you give him that little slip with all that says full size, and they look at the car, and he let me go. So it was the most amazing car. I was so happy. I might go with Alamo from now on, folks. Every time I go there, I get a Hyundai, and it's gorgeous. until I get one stolen, and then it'll be another one I can't do, like Thrifty. So I get to town on Wednesday, and which was fine, and then Thursday was Thanksgiving, and I didn't eat a ton, I didn't go crazy, but we had a good time spending time with family and everything, and I had to go online and do. I don't do a lot of online stuff when I'm with Dave. Sometimes I'll check my phone, and it kind of annoys him, quite frankly. He's like, "Are you on Twitter? What are you doing over there?" And I'm just like, it's just when you have a smartphone, you just automatically start looking at stuff. I can check my mail, I can do stuff really quick, and we're watching football, but you get lost in the phone a little bit. So I go online and I get an email from someone that just says, "Congratulations!" I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So I open it, and Kickstarter was funded on Thanksgiving night. And I was so excited. I was like, no way. And I went and looked at the numbers, and everybody's like, yay, we did it. Woohoo. And there's actually confetti shot on my phone, which I didn't know was a feature, but it is. Steve Jobs thought of everything. Anytime you get a congratulations email, you press the C button and boom, confetti. It's congratulations and confetti. C for both. Which is weird because C is usually for cookie, and that's good enough for me. But instead, this time it was for confetti and for, congratulations. All right, and for Christ. So that was great to find out that was done. And I told you I was going to drive up. My schedule's all fucked up. You know that. And sleep-wise, I'm all fucked up. So Wednesday night, I get to Mex's. We hang out. And then finally, he's like at 2 a.m. He's like, dude, I'm done. So he has to go to bed. And I have to do still all of my emails and Facebook. And I have to do all that stuff for the show because that episode came out on Wednesday. So I wind up doing that. And I'm having problems with my email list. I probably have told you this. It normally would take... you can't send more than 450 an hour because there's a spam thing, whatever the fuck. But it's taking forever to send my emails. Like last week, it took 8 hours to send out my email blast to however many people I have, and it's just I have to keep refreshing it. It's just a nightmare. I have to actually pay attention to it instead of just setting it and forgetting it. Ron Popeil, if he had a mail list, I would jump on it. But unfortunately, I got to keep, so whatever the fuck. So I'm up and I'm writing and I'm looking and I'm surfing the net. I'm doing my stuff. I didn't get to bed until 7 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. And thankfully, family, because I checked, family and stuff's coming over, dinner's at 4. So I went to bed at 7 and I woke up at 1, or I woke up at noon and I'm like, well, I'll get out of bed in a second. And I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes and it was 1:40. Like it was like, an hour and 40 minutes went like that. Because I stayed up, I should tell you, again, remember, I stayed up all day Tuesday. I woke up Tuesday at like 10 a.m., stayed up all night, all day, and then slept on the plane a little bit. But then, I'd only had 4 hours of sleep in a couple days. I'm fucking myself up bad. So I get up in the afternoon on Thursday. We hang out. We have Thanksgiving. It's fun. And I make a decision. I go, you know what? My sleep schedule is so fucked up. I can't trust myself tomorrow to get up. And I also want to be in one space concentrating on the show. I know that seems weird to you people, but I need to relax on show day and prep for it instead of just showing up at the theater and doing it. I have to take my shower. I have to be ready, folks. I got a lot of rules. So in my head, I go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to drive up to Milwaukee tonight. I'm actually going to leave Thanksgiving night late after Mex goes to bed. And I'll probably leave at like 3:30 in the morning because it's only a 2-hour drive. I'll get up there and it'll be fine. The only thing is I got to worry if there's an early check-in. Because when you do Priceline, they say you got to check in at like 4 in the afternoon. So, and it's the holidays. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So I call the Hilton, and a woman answers the phone. I said, hey, I'm a guest, or I'm going to be a guest tomorrow. I wanted to see if there's a way to get an early check-in. And she goes, doesn't matter to me. And I was like, what? She goes, doesn't matter to me. We're almost totally empty. And in my head, I'm like, well, I understand that, but you know you work at a Hilton, right? I mean, you know you should have a modicum of professionalism. Did I call? Maybe it's not the Hilton. Maybe I called a barn. Did I call a barn in Milwaukee? Hey, can I come up early? I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And spits tobacco in a fucking spittoon. And then, cranks the phone and calls Mabel and has to be connected to the general store. What the fuck? I'm a customer. Talk to me like I'm a customer. God damn it. Doesn't matter to me. She actually said that. And I just went, oh, okay. She goes, yeah, we're almost empty, completely empty. So yeah, whenever you want to come. And I wanted to go, well, what if I came there now? Could you give me a free room? I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter to you much. What if I came and burned the hotel down with you in it? Would that be a problem? How if I shot you in the fucking head? Is that going to be a problem? Doesn't matter to me. I'm working on Thanksgiving and it's awful. Kill me. I want it. So I was like, all right. So I told Max, I go, dude, I'm splitting at like 3:30 in the morning. And he's like, cool. So I did, man. I stayed up and I got in the car at 3:30 and drove up to, and I should tell you this, it's, Thursday night. Friday is Black Friday, but everything starts at midnight. So I'm driving. The fucking streets are busier than they were when I went to the fucking airport at 9:30 in the morning. There's more people out, and it was weird to pass every strip mall and see it alive with people and taillights, and it's 3:30 in the fucking morning, and there's tons of people out. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I just, no, not interested. Not for me. I did the Black Friday thing once, and when I did it, it worked out great, actually. It was, well, mark it down. I'll talk about when I talk about Carrot Top. I'm way too deep into this fucking show. Yeah, way to go. Mark the air. You suck. That's okay. You're not the producer or anything. Don't worry. Folks out there, do me a favor. Somebody text me or send me an email that just says Carrot Top and Black Friday, and I'll remember to tell you those stories later, because Lily can't be bothered to burn Sharpie ink. Sigh all you want. So I'm driving to Milwaukee. I get there, and I get there at like, I don't know, 5, because I made pretty good time. Oh, really? Oh, okay. You're going to be that guy now the rest of the fucking show? You can take off if you want. I mean, seriously, you don't need to be here either. I know it doesn't matter to you.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, this show don't matter to you. Fortunately, it matters to me. I fucking can't remember shit. I asked you write 4 words down. Right, you can't remember either. So that's why I asked you to write 4 fucking words down, and you give me this look like, really? It's better if I got to sit here and listen to you talk and say this fucking nonsense. Now I have to keep track of your bullshit. What am I, a human goddamn placeholder?
Look, I didn't cut in front of you with wine.
Do you have documentation that says you didn't cut in front of me with wine? Jesus Christ. Just write. I should write 4 words down. How tough is that? No, you did, but you're giving me attitude about it. Yeah, you are. I know your knee hurts. I'm sorry, but again, you didn't cut in front of me. I didn't hurt your knee. Jesus Christ. Look, I'm on fumes, man. I'm on fucking fumes for stories. If one comes up, I got to fucking pull it out. I got to remember it. I'm serious. One of these days, I'm going to be... Look, last week, we threw it to a clip show. I could have told you all about Carrot Top last week. I could have done that. Shit just comes out of me, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I remember this. But then I don't remember it. So I ask you, I rely on you with your trusty Sharpie. Why do you even have a Sharpie and a pad of paper if you're not going to go ahead and write stuff down? God damn it. Oh, man. Take all this out. All right, so. Oh, good. Look at that. So I think she wrote it down, but if anybody out there wants to send me an email that just says Carrot Top and Black Friday, please. Wait, are you gonna text me? Good, you do that. And now with all of this, I've forgotten what I was talking about. Holy Lord.
Driving up at 3:30 in the morning with Black Friday.
So I get to Milwaukee at 5 o'clock. I pull in, and I don't know where to park. It's because it's right down in it's called in the city center. So it's right on 5th Street. It's positively 5th Street, by the way. And there's nowhere to park outside. Like normally there's a place where you can park and then you by the valet or whatever, and you just go check in and then you go move your car. But there's nowhere to park. But directly across the street, there's a lot. Okay. And it says it's $5 all day. So I park in there and I said, I'm not going to pay now. I'm going to go check in and then I'll move the car and I'll park in the Hilton's parking lot. So I walk in and I should tell you, this Hilton was beautiful. I mean, it was just downstairs. It had a steakhouse. It had a bar. It had a cafe. And then there's these ornate stairs. You get up top. They had this huge Christmas tree. I mean, like, it must have been 3 stories tall in the lobby. I mean, it looked like, honestly, it looked like the people who were going to put me on the Cleopatra barge to go through the security line could have carried me into the Hilton. Because that's how it was fitting. It was absolutely fitting. I don't even think they had like an airport valet. They just had someone who would carry you, like these muscle guys. Fucking amazing. So I walk in and I go right to the desk, and I don't know if this was doesn't matter to me or not, but because I hope not, because it was literally I called at 10, at 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, Thanksgiving afternoon. I hope she's not still working at 5 the next morning. Or maybe they said, hey, you want to work overtime? She said, doesn't matter to me, and she stayed. But I walk in, I check in, and she gives me a room, and I said, I'm parked in the lot outside. And she goes, oh, do you want to park with us? I go, yeah. She goes, okay, it's $24 to park overnight in the Hilton. And how long are you here? And I go, I mean, if I park now, you're not going to ding me again for Friday, right? Because that's crazy. And she goes, well, no, it is Friday. And she goes, you're leaving tomorrow? She goes, but it is technically nighttime and it starts over again like in 24 hours. So you'll still have to pay if your car's there in 24 hours. And I said, well, there's a lot right across the street. It says $5 all day. That's probably my move, right? And she goes, well, I mean, I can't say. I said, why? She goes, well, I'm telling you that we have a parking lot here, then it's $24. I said, I got the room for $50, right? She goes, we use Priceline. And I said, yeah, I'll tell you what, why don't I just give you $50 and I can just fucking park my car in the Hilton. I'll just pull it in and just drive and park right here next to the Christmas tree. There's room. And she did not find that funny. She kind of just looked at me. Because I'm trying to be, again, and I didn't mean it in a mean way, but it was like, and I said to her, I go, you recognize how ludicrous that is, right? That you would charge me $48 to park my car when there's a lot that says $5? She goes, well, that lot's not affiliated with us. And I go, I understand that, but quit trying to bleed me for an extra $50. I'm telling you, have you ever parked in that lot? She goes, well, I don't know. I go, oh my God, forget it. I know what I'm doing. So then she goes to check me in, and they had a huge bowl of apples, like free apples on the countertop. And again, I'm just an idiot, folks. So she's checking me in, and she goes, all right, so you're on the 7th floor. I said, great. I said, I need a non-smoking room. She goes, all of the rooms here are non-smoking. We are anti-smoking here at the Hilton. I said, but I see you are pro-Apple. She laughed at that, thankfully. Thankfully, she laughed at that. So if you go to the Hilton, they are anti-smoking, but they are definitely pro-Apple. So I check in, I go upstairs, and I'm walking, and look, I recognize it's 5 a.m., on Friday morning, but there's not a fucking soul in this airport or in this hotel. Anyway, again, I go up and I take the elevator. I go downstairs and I move my car and I get my luggage and I come back in. There's nobody down in the lower level. There's nobody up at the lobby. I get in the elevator. I take it up. There's nobody on the 7th floor. I mean, I'm waiting for fucking Danny Torrance to go by on a big wheel, for Christ's sake. It is that fucking empty. Elevator opens, a fucking river of blood comes out. There's a couple of weird twins at the end. Jesus Christ. All apples and no smoking make Mike a dull boy. So, sure, clap for that. Why not? So I just made that up. So I get to my room, but I'm excited about the fact that there's nobody there because it's early and I just want to sleep. I'm going to sleep most of the day. So I get in, I unpack, and I go into my room, and it's a real nice room, king size bed, nice TV, which I never turned on. And I just unpack all my stuff, and it's 6:30 now, and I go, fuck it, I'm going to sleep. So I call in, I get a wake-up call for 12:30, and I go to bed. And usually in a hotel, there's people, walking around in the hallway in the morning, the housekeeping, whatever the fuck. And it's funny, because there's no one at all. So I actually wake up at 12:30, and then I kind of lounge around in bed until 1, and then 1:30. Because I don't need on the day of a show. I just got to get up and relax. That's the whole deal. And I don't hear anybody. I don't hear a fucking soul. To the point where I'm like, you know what? I could probably fucking go outside naked and get ice. Maybe I should go outside naked and get ice. Like So in my head, I'm like, that would actually, because the ice was right. It was only like 4 doors away from where I was. The only sound I'm hearing is the ice machine. And I'm like, dude, that would be fucking hysterical. The only reason I didn't do it is there's nowhere to put my key. So. But in my head, I'm like, I could probably walk out there naked and get ice. That'd be funny. You know what I mean? It's not funny at all. So the day goes by. I'm there getting ready to go to the show. I'm checking my computer. I'm getting ready. I'm excited. And I had to be at the theater. The theater was only 2 miles from where I was, 1.5 miles. So I had to be at the theater at 6 for tech, for the 8 o'clock show. I always try to go a little early so those guys can, get acquainted with what I'm bringing, and then I can just hang out there and learn jokes. So I'm in the room, I'm killing time. And I nod off a little bit, wake up, going through jokes. And finally, it comes to be about 5:15. I'm like, well, it's 1.5 miles away. That's not a far drive. I got to be there by 6. Well, start getting ready now. Go ahead and hop in the shower. I shaved already. And so I get ready. I'm getting my clothes ready. And finally, it's about 5:30. I go, well, you know what? I'll hop in the shower now. So I brush my teeth. I floss, turn on the shower. And shower doesn't work. Water comes out when you turn on the faucet, but you can't pull up the shower plunger. I pull up the shower plunger, the shower head doesn't work. And I'm standing there, and I start fucking with it. I bring all of my plumbing knowledge to bear on this shower plunger, which means I basically lift it up and push it down, lift it up and push it down, and then lift it up and then push it down again. And it just goes, boom, 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 boom. It makes a weird noise. It won't catch. It won't open the latch that says open sesame to the shower. And open shower me. That's what it is. Open shower me. I can't pull up the plunger and make it happen. So I'm furious. Because now it's 5:35. I'm standing there fucking stark naked, and at least my teeth are brushed. But I've waited this fucking long because I know I'm very close. I'm 1.5 miles away. Now my shower doesn't fucking work. So I don't even have time to fuck with it. All right. I don't have time to complain or bitch or just get mad. I go right to the phone, and I call the front desk, and they're like, Hilton. And I said, hey, I have an emergency. And they're like, oh my gosh, what is it? And I said, my shower doesn't work. They go, well, that's no problem. We'll get somebody up there to fix it. I go, no, you don't understand. I have an appointment. I have to be somewhere at 6. It is now 5:30. I'm standing. I was about to jump in the shower and get ready to go, and I need you up. I need a room with a shower. I just need a new shower. She goes, well, I'll get somebody up there. They'll take a look at the shower. I mean, we want to help you definitely, but could you give us a chance to fix it first? I go, I would. I swear to you, I would. But I'm late. I'm so late. I need to go. I have a show tonight. Like I have a business engagement that I have to be at, and it's at 6:30. You make up lies, and so I have to be there at 6 for this at 6:30. And she goes, oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that. No problem. I will get you a shower. I will get you a room with a shower. It's not a problem. I go, yeah, but here's the thing. I don't want to have to pack all of my stuff and schlep it all over to the other room and go ahead and take a shower and have a new room because I'm in such a hurry. Is there any way you could just get me a shower to use? Just like a room that I can go shower at? And she goes, yeah, well, we're pretty empty. You're on the 7th floor. She goes, all right, let me see what I can do. I can block off a room for you. And I'm in room 747 at the time. She's like, well, let me try to find a room that's close to you that you can take a shower in, and we'll send somebody up to take a look. And she just, pushing buttons. And then she goes, all right, you know what? I have a room for you. I can block it off. You can go down there and take a shower and then just walk back to your room. That's fine. And I said, oh my God, that's perfect. That's great. She goes, all right, I'll send Ted up and he's going to bring you the keys and everything will be fine. So I get ready and I start getting dressed. And we've talked about how weird I am, folks. Here's something else that I have. I told you I don't want to shower and then sit in a car for 2 hours. If I take a shower, I have to put on clean clothes. I can't take a shower and then put on like a shirt that I'd been wearing that day because then I'm invalidated. I'm immediately filthy. Even though I'm not a filthy person, I'm not dirty, but it doesn't matter. Once I'm clean, it's like I told you, that's why I don't take baths. Baths are just a bowl of filth. You're not clean in a bath. So if I take a shower and then put on old clothes, oh my God, I'm not clean anymore. I'm not clean anymore. So in my head, I'm like, well, what am I going to do then? Am I going to go down there and take a shower and then schlep all the way, like put on my old clothes and then schlep back to the room? That doesn't make any sense. That's even worse than fucking bringing my stuff over. I go, fuck it. If Ted's on his way up here, he can help me carry shit. So I start cleaning the room up. I start throwing everything into my suitcase. I start throwing all my shaving kit stuff. I just doing it in fast motion as I'm getting dressed. I put on fucking socks, throw on my old pants. I'm getting ready. I'm getting dressed. And knock on the door. It's Ted with his bouffant and his gold blazer from Hilton. And I let him in and he's like, hey, can I help you? I says, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to switch rooms. He goes, oh, okay, well, we're just going right up the hall. I go, fine. He goes, you need me to carry anything? I go, I got plenty of shit you can carry. So he walks in. He grabs I'm getting my laptop. I'm jamming that in. I zip up the suitcase. He goes, let me take this. I grab all my clothes. I throw them in there. I grab my stuff. And he goes, let's go. So we walk out. We close the door. And I go, you know what? I'm going to keep the key just in case. You know what I mean? It's like, and he's like, well, all right. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's nobody checking in. He goes, I'll have them both blocked off. And then by the end of the night, that'll be fine. I go, good, cool. So we walk out. We go down to 725. And I go into 725 and, Ted and I walk in, and it's. I should tell you this: the room's amazing. Like my room was nice. This room's got a couch. It's got like a fucking couch and like 2 easy chairs, and then a huge king size bed, and the plasma's on the wall instead of fucking mounted. And I'm just like looking around. I'm like, why didn't I get this fucking room? There's nobody in the goddamn hotel. How come Pro Apple doesn't put me in this fucking room? But that's fine. So I get into 725, and it's a nice room. I put all my stuff down, and Ted's great. And he goes, all right, let's make sure. I go, we're going to make sure the shower works before you take off. He's like, fine. So we go into the bathroom, and I should tell you this. The bathroom door is propped open by a garbage can. Okay, and I'm like, why the fuck is that there? So I move the garbage can, because then the door it closes. The bathroom door closes. It's too heavy, and there's no hinge. Wait, who made this bathroom door? It's ridiculous. So then I open it, and it makes a loud noise. Bang! Because it's the smallest bathroom I've ever been in a hotel. Like it opens inconveniently and it smashes into the shower rod. The like clothing hook on the back of the door, it smashes into the shower rod, and then you squeeze in and the toilet is right on your immediate right-hand side, and then the sink is tiny. There's no space on the counter for anything. And then I look and the shower has the handicapped bars. So I'm like, is this a handicapped shower? But if it is, how the fuck does the handicapped guy even get in here? He's got to slither through. Getting in this bathroom was like playing Tetris. Like literally, I had to fucking move my body around and skew myself in and fucking hop in and go in through a pattern. And it wasn't even, I didn't even think it was a bathroom. I thought it was a panic bathroom. In case hostages came and you needed a shower. You know what I mean? It's like, in case it was like Mumbai and these fucking Indian gunmen hit the theater, the goddamn hotel, you could just hide in the panic bathroom and again, stay clean. And once you hear the gunshots, you can shit yourself and then go in and get cleaned up. So I load off my stuff and Ted's helping me and he goes in, he leans forward and he turns on the shower and he pulls the plunger and it doesn't work. And I go, Ted, that's exactly the same shit that happened down the hall. And he goes, well, wait a minute. And he starts futzing with it and jingling, and then he pulls it up and it goes, and then it catches and then shower comes out. And I go, oh, well, it's not exactly what happened down the hall. Because I look like an idiot. He goes, don't worry about it, sir. You're taken care of. There's nobody here anyway. It's fine. And I said, great. Well, I appreciate it very much. And he goes, yeah, and just you have the other room. If you want to switch it out, that's fine. I said, good. Thank you for your help. So Ted leaves. I get naked. I fucking turn the shower on, and I brush my teeth again because I had brushed them earlier, and I felt I needed to brush them again in the new room. Don't ask why. I'm weird. And I also needed extra time this time because I was going to blow dry my hair. All right. Now, I haven't blown dry my hair since sophomore year in high school, but when I got my haircut from Natalie, she styled it, and then she blew dry it. And then she put gunk in it when it was dry, and then it held, and then she blew dry it again. And I go, well, you know what? It's always falling when I put the stuff in. She goes, well, is your hair wet? And I go, yeah. She goes, you can't put it in wet because it'll leave it wet. She goes, if you want it to look dry, you need to do this. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to blow dry it, but yeah, it looks good. All right, I'll do that. So I was excited. I had actually, and in the other room, I had checked for the hair dryer. I knew there was a hair dryer in there. I did not check in the new room. So that's fine. I got to just get in the shower. I brush my teeth. I get in the shower and I get clean. And in the shower, I keep ramming my arm into the handicap stall. And there's a fucking towel rack. This is how small this bathroom is. This is not a joke. The towel rack is in the actual fucking bathtub. Right at eye level. So I lean forward to get soap and I hit my head on the fucking towel rack. There's only 3 towels. And I'm fucking banging my arms and my elbows. I'm just fucking getting hammered. And the curtain is there. Awful. It's awful. No water pressure. Terrible shower. But I will tell you, much better than the shower in 747. That one would have been awful. So I'm getting clean. I'm doing the best I can to get clean. I get my hair working and everything's fine. I get out of the shower. I get dried off. And I go and get dressed, throw some jeans on. I'm looking around for the hair dryer. I open the closet door and there's the hair dryer. I'm like, thank God. So I grab it. I dry my hair and I style it and I start to blow dry it. Now, I'm in the panic bathroom. So I put my arm up and my elbow immediately hits the side mirror. And I can't get extension. So the blow dryer is right on my hair. So it's there's this one circle that's super fucking dry, but I can't move my, I'm not Tony Manero. I don't know how to fucking do this. I got one hand is busy just trying not to fall and keep the door open because the garbage can isn't propping it open. I'm holding the other one and I'm banging my arm, bang, bang. The fucking air is in my eye. Horrible. I am not a blow dryer, folks. I'm not. So... but I put gunk in and then I tried to blow dry it again and then it's blowing. It's kind of turning strands. I didn't like it. So I'm like, whatever. So I get out. I put my shoes and socks on, or no shoes on. I should say, 'cause socks are on. Whatever. You don't care. And I've got shoes on and I throw on some deodorant and all that's left is I got to just throw my shirts on, my show shirts, my show shirts on hangers, my show shirts on hangers in the closet. My show shirts on hangers in the closet of room 747. I'm in room 725. Have I mentioned that? So in my haste to clear the room out, me and Ted, we grabbed everything, but I had hung my shirts in the closet and closed the door. Didn't grab them. So now I'm in the room. I've got all my stuff, and except for my shirts. And I've already mentioned I'm clean. Now I'm half dressed. I'm showered. If I put on an old shirt, I'm going to have to come back and take another shower. It's weird. I know. It's crazy. I get it. That's fine, but it's me. I can't shake it. So in my head, I'm like, well, fuck. I got to get those shirts anyway. And now I in my head, I'm like, thank God I kept the key to 747 because I was just going to leave it there. And I grabbed it as an afterthought. You okay? You want to take that out? No. Okay. Lily just kicked me and then hurt her own leg doing so. So I don't have shirts, but I have a key, and I don't want to put on old clothes because I'll have to reshower, and time's ticking away, folks. But what I do have going for me is that the hotel is empty. Almost. I should have told you this earlier. I should tell you now. I had to go to the business center and print out the will call list for the show. So when I went down there, it was on the same floor as the ballrooms and things like that. And when I went in, there was a function that night. It was a debutante cotillion for some church. And it was a coming out party for some ladies. I don't know what that means. Who cares? I was just proud of myself that I could pronounce the words debutante and cotillion. So I went down, I printed my will call list, went back to the room. And then this shower debacle happened, as I've told you about. So then I'm standing in the room, and I've got no shirt on. I've got jeans, shoes, and I go, fuck it. I'm just going to go down the hallway. I'm not putting on an old shirt. I won't wear a shirt. Whatever the fuck. That's fine. There's nobody in the hotel. So I grab a bath towel, and I just throw it over my shoulder, toga style, and I walk out. I open the door to 725, and I go and I turn and I walk up the hallway, and as I take 3 steps, and right around the corner, I'm gonna guess every debutante for the cotillion is now in their finest and on the way down the hallway to go take the elevator down to the 4th floor. Because I come out and I turn around and I take 3 steps and they all like come out of their rooms, and just this mass of people, almost like a zombie apocalypse of debutantes. They all show up as I'm standing there with no shirt on. And I felt so bad for these poor girls. These poor girls are just on their way to be turned into women. I don't know what you do at a cotillion. I know what you don't do, stare at a fat guy's nipples. I know that doesn't happen at the cotillion very often. But sure enough, me and my fucking hairy chest and my nipples, I'm just like, hi, how you doing? I said, hello, what do? You can't do anything. Because it looked like I'd locked myself out, but I made a beeline and just tried to walk with the fucking towel over it like as a half a toga. Is that one? And I'm topless. I have no shirt on. Literally, I'm the white trashiest dude in the world. My hair looks good. I'm wearing really nice jeans, but it doesn't fucking matter. I have no shirt on. I might as well have been carrying a beer can and had a dip in my chest or in my cheek. I just start walking, and these girls are horrified. They're just seeing me. Their parents are like, almost covering their eyes. They're just gasping, and I'm like, hi, nice to see you. Thank you. Excuse me. Pardon me. I apologize. I'm apologizing all the way down the hall. And I turn the corner, and there's more debutantes, more cotillionites, whatever the fuck they are. I'm praying that I can just get in there and get my fucking shirt on and get the fuck out of the way. And I go in, and I hit the 747. I open the door, and I go in, I slam the door like a monster. And I just hear everybody in the hallway just start cracking up, just start laughing. And they're just like, what was that? And they're laughing. And so part of me is like, well, that was fun. We all got along with it. Everything seemed to be okay. But then part of me is pissed off. They're laughing at me. So my goal was to get in there and just throw the shirts on really quick and then just fucking hustle back to the room. But instead I decided, well, fuck this. You're going to laugh at me? Fuck that. And so I grabbed the shirts and I took the towel even off my shoulder and I walked out like confidently, even more topless. I just walked out into the hallway, and then they see me, and it's like, now the towel's not, now it's double nipples right in your face. You had 1 nipple earlier in a toga effect. Fuck you, 2 nipples right for their cotillion. Today you are a woman. Mazel fucking tov.
Oh my god.
And I just walked through, fucking barrel chest. Everybody's looking at me like, what? Honestly? Seriously? And I'm carrying my shirts. They see me carrying shirts. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. I have no shirt on. I have 4 shirts on hangers. Fuck you. I can't be bothered. Because earlier it was like embarrassing, kind of like, oh, I just want to get out of here. Now I'm like, fuck you. I am out and proud. Just fucking crazy topless. Carrying shirts. Gorgeous. They're like, put one of those on. Any of them. There's 4 of them. 1. All of them. Put them on. Fuck you. Cotillion. You'll never forget it. And I like chin in the air, proudly walked shoulders back, fucking high beams on, rolled through the hallway like fucking Panzer tank. I made it over to 725, took another look around, and ching ching, yeah, I walked in. Idiot. Loud and proud in the hallway, topless. I should have just been like, hey, anybody want to join me? Anything, make it even worse. Couldn't possibly. And then I get in the room and I'm like, oh, well, you're stupid. What are you doing? So I get all dried off. I get everything squared away. I get my shirts on and I jump in the car. I jump in the car, and I'm ready to go, rolling. Like I said, it's only 1.5 miles away. You go up 5th Street, take a turn, you go through. There's like a traffic circle, and I'm rolling. And again, same thing. It happens this happens every city I'm in. Okay, I'm in a city and everything's fine. It looks great. I'm in a nice hotel, and then I just drive 2 miles to the theater, and I might as well be on the fucking moon if the moon had gangs. I mean, I'm just trying, and by the way, the moon does have gangs. The Moonerites. How funny are the Moonerites? Holy shit. The Moonerites are the greatest. They should be on TV every goddamn day. All right. Yes, Cup. I can't even do it. So, I love the Moonerites. So I'm driving, and as I'm going, there's a traffic circle, and I'm looking, and I'm just getting deeper and deeper into this horrible, horrible fucking section. And then I see a sign that says Milwaukee's Historic Latin Quarter. And which is fine. Again, I have no problem with that. All I know is I'm looking for Club Shout is what I'm doing as I'm driving. I'm like, am I playing Club Shout again? That's not good. Benson and his big blood cock are going to open for me. I paid for this theater. So I'm in the Latin Quarter and I'm driving, and it is truly like the Latin Quarter because as you're driving, I was at the corner of Andale and Ay. I'm driving and there's like fucking, I just see a cantina and then Los Tres cantinas and then another cantina. It's just 10 cantinas and then a dim street light. And I stop and I'm like, am I in the right place? And then the outlaw Josie Wales rides past on a horse. Yep, I'm probably in the right place. And I'm rolling, looking at the numbers for the fucking theater. And sure enough, I get down to the end. This theater is literally the last house on the left. And I actually said on stage, I go, look, this is truly the last house on the left. So if there's two 20-year-old girls who came here together, you're going to get raped in the woods after the show. It's just going to happen. I apologize in advance. I fucking roll up and I park, and plenty of parking. I can tell you that, because there's a water horse trough and the Josie Wales is there. And I pull in my car right in front. And I get out, and this joint looks like the Munsters house. I mean, it is just this foreboding, huge brick facade, and and again, this happens in every city. I went to Phoenix and I'm driving, and I think they were actually cooking meth in the theater. I mean, it was fucking brutal. So, that's fine. I do this stuff on the internet, so I don't know what these places look like. And none of them have been a problem. People have come. Everything's turned out great. Nobody's been killed. So I show up. I walk in, and it's about 6:30. I was supposed to be there at 6. And Jimmy, the guy who runs the bar, is there. And I should tell you, I walk in the place, and I immediately fall in love with the space, because I thought, again, on the outside, it's in the middle of this cantina fest, and there's a foreboding front, but you walk in and on the immediate left, there's a huge expanse with like artwork on the walls, and they serve coffee and liquor. They have like a bar, and then you just walk down the hall a little ways, and there's the space, and it seats 70. By the way, he told me it seated 70, and then I counted the seats, and there's 58 regular theater seats. And then there's just a bunch of scattered chairs. So I realized the word he didn't use was comfortably when he told me that it seated 70. Because we almost sold out. Like I had to stop selling tickets online, or I haul a few back because when I heard the capacity, and whatever. But I looked at the space, and the people were right on top of me, which I like. And it was just it looked like the UCB, like that kind of space. So nice. And but it didn't go up as high. It didn't have as many of those seats. It was more long than deep. So I talked to Jimmy. He was great. And I said, hey, you want to learn the tech stuff? And he's like, yeah, I'll get to it. It'll be great. We'll take a look at it. And I'm always, look, I'm a child, so I'm annoyed when anybody blows me off. You know what I mean? It's like, I light the candles later. Let's figure out the music for the fucking show, all right? I don't need you walking around and spraying pledge on shit, all right? I just fucking focus with me. But again, sweet guy, nice guy. And he goes, hey, I have a guy named Ed, and he's going to be running the lights, and I'm going to run the music. I said, is Ed here? And he goes, no. I go, well, since the music cues go with the light cues, we might want to wait for Ed, probably. And he's like, what? And I go, they're really simple. It's like you turn off the lights and play some music, and then you turn the lights back on and hit stop on the music. It's easy. I made it as easy as I could. It only gets a little hinky at the end. He's like, oh. Well, yeah, because Ed will be up there in the control booth with the lights, and I'll be sitting right here, stage right, with the controlling the board. I'm like, you can't. So I go, wait, so you can't even see Ed? And he goes like, no. And I go, oh. I go, Jimmy. He goes, you know what? I got it. And he goes up to the control booth, and he took the power, like this thing. What's this called?
A mixer.
He took the mixer or whatever, and then the light mixer. I guess if there's a light mixer, the light board, and he just disconnected, and he brought it down by him, and he rewired it so he could control them both from his spot. So then Ed didn't have to be burdened up there.
Awesome.
And I was like, that's so cool. He's on a ladder. He's taking care of this business, and it's almost 7:00. Shows at 8, and Ed shows up. Ed's a sweetheart of a guy. They're both really nice young guys running this theater, really cool. And so I said, Jimmy, let's do the music. So he sits down and he has to burn it into his. I usually ask everybody, are you iPod capable, or do you need me to bring CDs? And I guess I forgot to ask him, because I give him the CDs. He's like, oh, well, I'll have to put them into my computer. I go, fuck, I thought I asked you if you guys, because I could burn them on an iPod. God damn it. But it didn't matter. That's fine. So he burned them into his computer, and he went off and sprayed more pledge and lit more candles. And Ed was very nice, and I asked him if he would run the will call list, and he would. I gave it to him, and I told him, I go, if people want to keep their ticket stubs, that's fine. Whatever the fuck. You don't care about the backstory. So, really, you don't. 9 hours in. So I'm in the theater, and I go in the green room, and I'm checking out my list of stuff and learning some jokes. And then Jimmy calls me over to help with the music finally. So we sit down and we start to figure out the music. I give him a sheet. I go, look, this is how this works. Let's listen to it so you can hear. And we work on the music for a good, I'm going to say 45 seconds. a solid 45 seconds. Really got a lot of good work done. And a woman walks in with a jacket on, and she just walks up. And I go, hi. I go, you here for the show? She goes, no, I'm here for Jimmy. And I go, oh. And I go, and Jimmy looks up, and there's some girl named Michelle. And he goes, hey, Michelle, I'll be with you in a second. She goes, okay. And she just stands there. And she goes, I really have to talk to you. And I look at Jimmy, and I go, is this an emergency or something? And she goes, well, no, I really have to talk to him. And I go, can we run tech? I mean, the show starts in less than an hour now. She goes, oh, yeah, of course, absolutely. And then she stands there. And then I'm trying to run him through the sheets, and he's looking at it. And then I finally, you know me, folks. I go, you know what? Take care, Michelle. I'll be in the green room when you can. And she goes, oh, I just need him for a second. I go, that's fine. So I walked off, and he goes with her for 10 minutes. And time's ticking away on the tech. And I go into the other room to check on the will call list. So I get Ed all set up, and a woman who I went to high school with is there. She's actually the first person there. And it was nice for her to show up. She comes in, and she's alone. She was supposed to be bringing a friend, but she came solo. And she couldn't buy tickets online, so she bought a ticket at will call. And she was very nice, but also she didn't act like she hadn't seen me in 27 years. Like, it was so like I looked at her and I go, hey. And I don't want to say her real name. We'll call her, Jeannie. So I go, hey, Jeannie. She goes, hi. Is this where I pay for the ticket? And I go, well, yeah, there's like a will call thing. I go, did your friend come? Because we'd been talking on Facebook. And she says, oh, no, my friend couldn't make it. I'm sorry. It's just me. I go, well, don't be sorry. That's fine. I'm glad you're here. We'll get you in. It's great. And I'm waiting for her to go, so how are you? Or what have you been doing? Or, you know what I mean? Because she's there to see me, kind of. And she looks at me and she says, so, did you say that Erica was coming? And Erica is another girl that I went to school with who wound up buying a bunch of tickets. She bought like 17 tickets for the show. And again, I'm not using real names. Although I probably did in previous episodes. I'm sure I did. I'm trying to be nice. So, but it was so funny. She's like, oh, is Erica coming? I'm like, well, yeah, I think so. I hope so. She bought 17 tickets. If she doesn't come, it's going to be grim. And she's like, oh, okay. She goes, well, I'll just sit in here and just have something to drink. And I'm like, okay, well, good to see you after 30 years. And walked out. Like, because I said, how are you doing? She's like, I'm good. And one word answer. That's it. So fucking strange. Because again, we don't have anything in common. We don't. We knew each other in school, and that was it. We didn't hang out. We weren't exactly like great friends, but we knew each other in school. But it just seems there's nothing there. There was no. It just seemed to me to be weird to be incurious about someone you have just paid to see that you knew 27 years ago. Wouldn't you have a question or how long you've been doing this or anything at all? Nope. She just wanted to go and sit down. All right, good. I'm sorry to bother you. And I guess I should have, I could have carried the conversation, except I was a little more worried about Jimmy and Michelle getting my fucking tech done. So I walk out, and finally Jimmy's over there, and I go, all right, can we do this now? And he's like, yeah. And as Jimmy goes in the other room, so I'm walking through, and then another guy walks in the front door as I'm walking out of the bar. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, is Will Call around here? I go, yeah, actually it's right behind me. It's in the bar here. And he goes, great. I go, I'm Mike. It's right there. And he goes, okay, great. Where's Will Call? And I go, hey, I'm Mike. And he goes, yeah, I'm John. And I go, hey, John. And he goes, so do I go and handle a ticket in here? I go, how do you not know that? I'm the guy. This is my show. I'm Mike. And he goes, I don't listen to your thing. I've never heard you. I was referred by a friend. He says you're funny, so I'm meeting him here. But it's like, because I'm waiting for him, because it happens when I go on the road and when I will walk out and people will hear me speak, and then they immediately turn around because they hear my voices in the fucking room because they're used to my voice, and everybody knows what I look like. But if you hear my voice, everybody kind of perks up. They're like, whoa. So when I said, hey, Will Call's in here, and he didn't react, I went, I'm Mike. Like I wanted to go, who are you? I'd like to meet you, but he wanted nothing to do with me either. He's just like, nah, fuck it, I'm trying to get a ticket. Yeah, I go, yeah, I'm Mike, motherfucker, I'm Mike. You're here to see Mike. Me, Mike Schmidt, remember? But he doesn't know me, so stupid me. I'm just like, me, I'm the star of this show. You know me, I'm a star, right? And it's like, no, I don't know who the fuck you are. My friend says you're funny. So great. There's another prove it walking in the fucking door. So I'm fucking furious. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I go back out to run tech, and we do the best we can. He starts going on the sheets. He's playing it, and he's like, all right, so this goes here, and then the lights. And I go, well, turn them all the way off, and then turn them all the way on. It's just, and I've been trying to explain it. We ran it once. And he goes, okay, I think I got it. I go, Jimmy, would you like to run it a second time? Just in case, just so we have it, just so you get used to doing the little switches and all that stuff. And he's like, no, I took notes and, I'll figure it out. These are the final lines. Good. I said, all right, good. So then I go into the green room and I sit there and I start to learn some jokes. And I can hear people streaming in. It's kind of fun. I hear, and the thing is, also another thing I'll tell you this. Oh, fuck. I don't mean to complain. It was a really nice place. But when I go on the road, I bring pre-show music that I actually build for each city because I'm an idiot. All right. I think that anybody cares. Nobody fucking cares. You know why I think anybody cares? Because I did it for San Francisco and I received like 10 emails from people going, oh my God, that pre-show music, the fact that you had all those certain songs that meant this, and they go, it was so great. And I was like, people got it. So now every city I go to, I do that and nobody gives a shit. Nobody even cares, which is fine. Only I care. And I'll keep doing it because it's for me. But I did it in Milwaukee, but nobody sat in the theater. They're all in the bar. So I tell him, I go, you know what? When people start arriving, just put on this music. It's like an hour of pre-show music. Let them hear it. And he goes, well, I'll do it when I see the theater. And I go, okay, well, that's fine. But they're all in the bar listening to the in-house music that he's playing. So in my head, I wanted to go, well, can't you put the CD out there? But whatever the fuck. I don't care. I'm sitting in the green room trying to learn jokes. And when I'm there, I realize, this person from high school has never seen me. And the woman who bought all the tickets, they haven't seen me. And then John, of course, has certainly never seen me. So for some reason, I had a vibe. Like in my head, I started to have a fight in my head. Where I'm like, well, fuck, what if this is the show where nobody gets it? You know what I mean? Like it's all these strangers and all that kind of stuff. Again, I do that to myself all the time. Because I usually sit there and I'm like, dude, these people love you. They want you to be good. But instead, I started having fake fights. Like what I would do if there was a problem and all this bullshit. And it's like, it's just stupid shit where you get in your own head because it's finally quiet. I'm sitting down in this green room alone. And so now I've got a time. Actually, I'm not alone. Doubt showed up. Doubt showed up to talk to me. So I'm there with Doubt, even though I've done the show and it's gone very well in every city. But I'm still weirded out. So then they start to bring people into the room at about literally like 10 to 8. And they start my music. I'm like, all right, the fucking in-house music. I'm like, well, good. And he comes in the back and I said, let's go at 10 after. Okay, we'll go at 10 after. Just, kick it on and make sure everybody's seated. He goes, well, they're filing in pretty good. And I said, all right. I said, do me a favor, though. All I care about is if there's one last song, just let it play and then end it when it ends. Don't fucking cut a song in the middle. And he said, fine. So he's out there. They're seating people. And he comes back in the room at about 5 after 8. And there was a song playing, and it had just started. And so he's like, what do you think? And I said, I'll tell you what, let this song finish, and then the next song is the last song. And when the next song ends, stop it, and I'll go out. And he said, okay, great. And Ed was going to introduce me. And Ed was like, what do you want me to say? I go, these people kind of know me. I go, just make sure you mention the podcast. And I said, it's called The 40-Year-Old Boy. And he's like, oh, let me write that down. So it works smoothly. The fucking music ends, and I'm up, and I'm like, I was nervous, but I'm excited. And Ed goes on stage. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm Ed. And then he tried a joke that did not work. I forget what it was, some joke. And it fell flat. And he goes, all right, I just want to tell you to turn your cell phones down and turn your pagers off, and please do that. And let's bring him out. You guys might know him from his podcast. Please welcome. He doesn't say 40-year-old boy, which is fine. Again, he doesn't know the fuck I am. He just met me. Who cares? I didn't write an intro for him. I just asked him because I figured that people can remember 5 words. They can't, which is fine. I don't care. So he introduces me, and I go out on stage, and it was awesome because the room was full. Like it wasn't completely packed full, but it was full enough to where there was a real crowd, and it was a small space, and they were kind of right on top of me, and I loved it. And I was just happy that people showed up, quite frankly, because again, I told you I was driving, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. If I would have gotten halfway and then turned around, nah, I'll just consider it a donation to the show, and I don't have to sit through it and almost die because I'm not kidding you. It was like as you're driving, it got darker and darker, and there wasn't even an address on the building. I think you just parked when you felt you were in danger. Like literally, that's the way it is with me in every town. If the second you think you're in danger, park. You're there. That's where the show is. So I get on stage and I'm talking. And it was great. Everybody was very nice, receptive, and I'm doing my show. And as I'm talking, there's people talking. Okay, there's chattery, and I book theaters for a reason. So people are in a theater and they think it's a theater event. It's not a comedy club, but I'm on stage and I'm talking, and about 10 minutes goes by and these people they're talking like It's a steady hum. And I'm used to it from clubs. Okay, and I should tell you, I can't see them. They're in the back of the room. It's just, but I can hear them. So I decide in the middle of talking, I stop and I just go, all right, by the way, if I mention I'll be the only one talking or whatever the fuck I said, I made it funny. Funny but smart-assy. And I asked them to be quiet. And they were like, so I continue talking. And they keep talking. And I'm talking. A few minutes go by. And I asked them to be quiet a second time. Now, I don't know if I mentioned that Ed's up in the control booth and Jimmy's stayed right. There's no real security here. It's a theater. Okay? And people know how to behave in a theater, right? You would think they would. So I go on, I ask them a second time to be quiet. And they say, yes, yes, absolutely. And I continue to talk. And a couple minutes goes by, and then they start talking and laughing. They're laughing now, like not even at punchlines. They're just laughing amongst themselves because they're talking and they're hilarious. And they continue to talk, and they're laughing, and they're having a good time, separate from the show. And I can see them in the back of the room. I can see, because I make the room very dark, because I don't want to see anybody. But I mean, I can still see the front row. But in the back, I can see these they're like passing cell phones around, like smartphones. I can see literally like 5 phone screens floating in the back as if they're like hailing in a plane. And I actually wish they would have, because it wouldn't have been any fucking louder than them talking to me. So they're passing around the phones. And I asked them a third time to please be quiet. And I don't go, excuse me, would you please be quiet? I say something smart-assy again, and I'm just like, really? We're still going to talk? You do recognize that I'm talking. And I'm like, look, they can't even hear me. They don't even know I'm talking to them now. Whatever. I've done it in clubs, okay? And I'm not mad. But I'm getting annoyed. And it's the third time you got to tell them to be quiet. That seems weird. So I continue talking. Now we're about 35 minutes into the show. And they're still talking. I asked them a fourth time. And this time in a way where I'm like, hey, enough. Seriously. I've asked, I've been nice. Stop talking. And they quiet down. So then I keep talking, I talk. And there's a story in The One Man that involves me going to a lake. I won't get too much into it. But I'm in that story, and I'm talking. And they start talking again. We're about 45 minutes in, and they start talking and laughing and passing the phones around. And I'm on stage, and I have the microphone in my hand. It's out of the stand, and I'm talking. And I should say the show's going extremely well. All right, I'm killing. People are loving it. They're laughing. They're in the moment. Everybody's with me except this group. Everybody's ignoring them. They're being nice enough. And I'm handling it. Like I said, I've asked them 4 times to be quiet. So everything's fine. And it's not like affecting the show. I'm funny and people are into it. And it's not affecting the crowd. They're laughing and paying attention. Everything's great. Except there's that fucking buzz in the back of my head that goes, why the fuck won't these motherfuckers shut up? And they won't shut up. They continue to talk. So at the 45-minute mark, I'm talking and I'm telling this story. And they're still talking. And people are laughing and everything's going great. And I actually just stop talking. And I get the mic in my hand and I go, and I make a decision at that point that I probably shouldn't have. But I immediately walk toward the end of the stage to where they are. They are to my left, to the crowd's right. And then they're up in the way back. They're behind even the back row. There's like a little loft almost. It's like a little luxury box. And quite frankly, if Abe Lincoln had been up there, and John Wilkes Booth had showed up to assassinate him, he would have wasted all of his bullets on those other people first. That's how annoying they were. And they're up, but behind the crowd. And so I walked to the edge of the stage, and I still have the microphone in my hand because I planned on taking it with me. But I walked all the way to the end, and then the cord ended. So I laid it on the edge of the stage, and I went into the crowd. And I walked out, and I walked up the stairs right to the back of the room where they were. And I looked at them, and I said, you guys can leave anytime you want. And they freaked out because, again, the guy on the television had just walked out and was now a foot away from them talking to them. And they froze and they looked at me and I go, I'm serious. I don't care. You've talked. I've asked you 4 fucking times not to talk. Nicely. All right? And now I'm up here doing this. I will hand you each $20. I will give you all of your fucking money back. I don't care. Get out. And the rest of the crowd, by the way, pin drop silent, like frozen. They don't know what the fuck is going on, because I walked off stage, they know what's going on. All right, they you know what went on? Mike Schmidt showed up. That's what the fuck is going on. Which is awful. No, it's not good. Don't clap. It's not good. It's terrible. It changes the game for everybody. So I get to the back and I look at them and I go, get out. You've been talking the entire time, and they immediately, they're so apologetic. They're like, no, we think you're hilarious. I go, I don't care if you think I'm hilarious. I have no idea how you think I'm hilarious. You haven't heard one fucking word I've said. I said, believe me, I can hear you. I hear you all show long. And if I can hear you, these people can fucking hear you. I'm on stage talking with amplification and I can hear you. They're right here. They can hear everything you're fucking saying. There's no way you think I'm funny. You haven't heard anything that I've said. Not one word. And I'm looking at them, and it's still dark. I can kind of see them and make out faces. There's only one face I can make out. My friend Erica from high school. And she kind of leans over and she goes like, no, Mike, we think you're great. I go, Erica, look, I know you bought a lot of tickets. You don't know what I do. They don't know what I do. I'm fine. I'm happy to refund your money. There's a bar outside with coffee and fucking drinks. Go out there, have a good time, or just leave. It doesn't matter to me. I will give you all of your money back. I will write a check when I walk off stage. I will pay you each $20 in your hand when I'm finished. I don't care. You just got to get out. You're driving me fucking crazy. And everybody's quiet, and they're quiet, and then they're apologizing, and then I snap out of it. Like, I come back to earth, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What the fuck? You just ruined this. You ruined this again. Because again, folks, you remember, I don't do fucking stand-up comedy on the road anymore, because the last time I did, I walked out on tabletops to challenge a guy to a fight. Like, I mean, it's just, I lost my temper. You're not supposed to lose your temper. It's all fun. We're all having a good time. But dude, the fourth fucking time I asked him to stop, wasn't that enough of a clue? Wasn't that enough of a fucking clue? So the fifth time I walked out, and I'm a foot away from them, and I'm talking to them. And I'm trying to be nice, but not. I had bass in my voice, and then they start talking. I go, look, I will pay you your money. I recognize you all paid. You're all a group, and I appreciate it, but I don't need your money. I said, because all of these people paid too, and they want to hear me talk. So I will pay you. I will give you your cash back. Just go or whatever you. And then I went, well, you know what? I don't care. Stay, go. If you stay, you got to shut up. And if you want to go outside, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do is fine. I don't care. Because now I felt, because I wanted them to feel shamed and apologetic, but I didn't want them to argue with me about how funny I was. Like, they're like, no, you're really funny. Just do your show. And I'm like, no, I won't do my show if you're talking. I can't. All I hear is you. That's all I fucking hear. And then I turn around and I walk down the steps. And I heard them milling about, and they keep talking to me. And I actually used her name, like in front of everybody. I go, Erica, I know you bought all these tickets. That's fine, but I can't. And she's like, I don't care about the tickets. We think you're funny. I want to see you. You're funny. We're enjoying it. And I go, you're not. Don't argue with me about how funny I am. I know I'm funny. Don't tell me to do my show. I'm gonna do my show, but just fucking sit there or leave. I don't care. I'm at that point. I just wanted to hide under the coats, as I've told you before, folks. Because I can't do anything about it. I've done everything I can. Now I've actually gone up to them in the audience. And let me clear something up here. I'm not wrong. Okay? I was not wrong for doing that. No, you don't have to clap. I'm not doing it for that reason. I know I'm not wrong. What I'm wrong is that I handled it badly. Like, I went up there mad. If I would have just been smiling or happy or whatever. But I tried that 4 times. And I genuinely was mad. I was pissed. It was like, what the fuck are you wasting my time for? I don't need your money that bad. I don't. And it's so funny that so I walk down to the stage, and I get back behind the microphone, and it's funny, you're clapping. I was expecting like maybe people to be like, woo, or yay, or no, people were freaked. They were so freaked. They were just sitting there silent, looking at the floor, like looking down at their shoes. The people in the front row, I could see it. They were looking down, like they didn't want to make eye contact with me at that point. And I got on the microphone, and I go, that's me. You had to see it. I'm sorry. And I apologize. And I go, you know what's funny? And I go, be honest with you. I have to tell you everything that's in my fucking head. I literally sat in the green room tonight and had practice fights for people who would do this. I'm not even joking. Like I knew I was going to tell somebody that I would give them their money back. I knew. And I told the crowd that, and it was totally true. I had sat in the back. For some reason, I had a vibe, a feeling, because I knew there were pockets of people who'd never seen me. There was a party of 12 that has no idea what I do. This party of 17. And so I was like, oh man, I don't even know what it's going to be like. Well, that's what it was like. And as I'm talking, I'm explaining that to people, and they get up and leave. They get up, and they stagger out the way drunk people would stagger out. They, I see their cell phones floating, and then hear chairs scraping. And they're walking down the steps. I hear them, and they went out a back way because they certainly didn't walk down the front way. And I jump back into the show, and I did the show, and it was funny. I can see people, and I see people's faces, and I know them from Facebook. Like they don't, they know me because they know me from the show, but people will write me so I know their faces. So I'd be talking in the show and I'd look down at a guy and go, huh, Tom, what do you think of that? Like, just like, they're just like, what? Tommy! I would just do that after every joke for no reason. And there was Casey, my friend Casey, and his wife Andrea, and it was like, but I kept saying, hey, Casey, how are you? When he would walk past, I mean, just because I think that's funny to do sometimes. All right, never mind. So the show goes great. It was 3 hours.
Wow.
And I should tell you this: Milwaukee was the last time that's going to happen. So I say that now, but because Milwaukee was the last. Anybody who's seen the show now, Phoenix, Portland, San Francisco, all you people, you saw it in one incarnation. The next time you see it, it's going to be different. There'll be stories dropped and stories added, stuff moved around, just because. And I need to put an intermission in there. I need to figure something out. I need to streamline it. I think this is a good place to start. The East Coast will be a good place to start with that, with the newer show. Because it just, 3 hours is fun, but I have to have an intermission for people, and it's tiring. I get it. It's tiring. So, but everybody was with me all the way to the end. It was really good. And I walked out, and I went out into the room, into the bar to meet people and sell shirts and do that kind of stuff. And everybody was very, they lined up, and I met everybody. Like I said, Zach, who started the page, I think it's Zach. He spells it Zach. He might pronounce it Zach, but it's spelled Zach. He was the guy who started the Bring Mike to Milwaukee page. And so he came up and he was real nice. And he said this, he goes, you know what, everything you've ever said about the one man is true. He goes, it's a fantastic show, but you know the things you need to fix. He goes, I'm not going to critique you or anything, but I just want to tell you I had a great time, and it was just so great. But in my head, I'm just like, couldn't you just tell me it was great? Just because I'm a baby, you know what I mean? Just for an instant, I understood, and I was very gracious, and I accepted what he had to say. And he's right. I mean, because I know the flaws, but it's like, I know the flaws. Why does everybody else have to tell me they know the flaws? But it was fine. I got to meet people. I met Warren showed up, and Tom and Susan came. They had seen me. Susan saw me in Minneapolis, and then she drove all the way to Milwaukee to see me again, which was unbelievable. She was so great, and her friends. And I whatever. She came with Tom this time because she had been there with Sam and Val. I think it was in Milwaukee. Look, I know everybody's names. And I got to meet people. A guy named Mike, who actually opened his own theater in Green Bay, was there, and he asked me if I wanted to come to Green Bay and do it there. Just really nice people showed up, and they were all very cool. Steve, I met Steve, and Leslie and her brother. Her brother's name escapes me. I apologize. But it was funny. Leslie tried to buy her brother year 1 or year 2, and then her credit card, it wouldn't let them do the credit card. Like, she's like, I'm trying to do it, but for some reason it won't go through. And, I really wanted to get it to him for his birthday by this weekend. And so I just sent it to him on me. I was like, yeah, it's cool. Cause I want people to listen to the show. And she's like, well, I've been telling him about you for like years, and I want him to know what you're doing. And I go, okay. So I just sent it. I go, what's his email address? And I sent it. I didn't tell him I was going to send it. I just did. And they were like, oh my God, we'll pay for it. I go, don't. I go, just like it, and that's fine. So then that night they come up to me and they go, I don't know if you remember us. Oh, like a year ago, we tried to buy year 1, and then you just sent it to us for free. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he hands me $25. I go, dude, I don't want your money. I go, that's so cool. And he goes, yeah, they're so great. Isn't that amazing? And I go, and he's like, oh no, I want to pay you. It was so great of you to do that. Like, Leslie cried. Like, and I'm like, I go, dude, don't. I go, please. I go, you know what? It got you to listen, and it got you here. You guys bought tickets tonight. And he goes, yeah, and we're going to buy shirts. I go, well, then why do I want your money for the download set? Enjoy it. I'm glad you liked it. It's like Warren. Warren wanted a shirt, and he didn't bring cash. And so I just gave him a shirt. And then he donated to the show when I got home. It was like so nice of him. So, everybody's great. I mean, I can't tell you enough. I mean, I met, so then I met, Hannah, who's a huge fan of the show, supported the show. She's always in the chat room on Thursdays, and it was so nice. She drove from Cincinnati by herself to Milwaukee. I wanted to hug her and go, "Don't! I'll get you a plane." I mean, you know what I mean?
Get you a plane.
And then Casey and Andrea had come from Wausau, like near Wausau, like a place. I don't want to say where they live, but they drove all the way, and it was nice to meet them. They had asked, they wanted to hang out. And I definitely wanted to hang out with Hannah, you know what I mean? Because, and both Casey and Andrea, Casey wrote me months ago saying, if you come to Milwaukee, we're hanging. And I'm like, cool. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, a few people had kind of claimed me for that, which was fine. So as I'm talking to them, there's another big group, and I see them kind of milling about. And, it looks like they want to talk to me, but I don't know if they do or they don't. Who knows? And in the meantime, Ed comes up to me, one of the guys who runs the room, and he hugs me. He just like unsolicited hugs me, and he goes, "You are so goddamn funny. You were amazing." He goes, "I only saw like the first 45 minutes. I wish I could have seen the rest of the show." I go, "What happened? You got a fucking emergency or something?" He goes, "Well, after what happened with you and those people, they all left and went to the bar, and so I had to come out here and be the bartender. Like I had to be there with them." And I go, "Oh, okay." Well, well, fuck, then you helped me. That was fine. And I should tell you, those people kept coming back in and out of the show. Because I would see them up there with their cell phones floating around. Like, I don't know if they were looking for a contact lens, whatever the fuck. But periodically they would just show up, and I really sat and watched any, and then they'd leave again. But Ed was like, "Yeah," he goes, "Oh yeah, they're in bad shape." I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, like one of them was crying because of what you said, and wasn't happy." And he goes, "One of the girls threw up like all over the bathroom." And I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "They were drunk when they got here." Because when I checked them in, they had been out. And it's funny, my friend had written me. She's like, "We're going to go out for margaritas before the show. You know, it's going to be all excited." And I'm like, "Ooh, okay." So, yeah, he goes, "Yeah, it was bad." I'm like, "All right, well, yeah, that's cool. I thank you so much for taking care of it." And so I met more people, shook more hands. Everybody was very nice. And and I should tell you, Hannah brought me gifts. She brought me tea from England because she knows I hate tea. She's like, "This is right from England. It's like raspberry tea." But then she gave me Japanese snacks. Dude, I mean, the only thing better than Japanese porn is Japanese snacks. Seriously. She gave me a citrus Kit Kat. Fucking no bullshit. I got in the car and opened it. It was so good. It tastes like a dreamsicle. It's so good. And then she gave me this box of. It said, I go, "What do you got, Pocky?" Because Pocky is these like little sticks, and you dip them in a frosting. But she's like, "No, it's like Pocky's cousin, and it's called Pretz, and it's pretzel sticks." And she goes, "I don't know what flavor it is. I see onions on, and it looks like a lime on the box, so I don't know what flavor it is." So I brought it home, and I went online and I researched it, like because there's like a million different flavors of Pretz. But all I could do was try to find the picture of the box because it's all in Japanese. So I open it, I'm eating it, and it was unbelievably good. I can't even explain the taste. It was like citrusy, but it tasted like chicken and a biscuit crackers, but citrusy. It had that kind of like sharp flavor. So I Google it. Oh, chicken and biscuit crackers. That was my childhood, dude. I loved those. We bust those out with herring. So good. So I go online. Oh man, New Year's Eve, awesome. Yeah, I loved it. So I go online and I look for Pretz and I find the picture. You know what flavor it is? Sudachi. Ha ha! Fucking awesome. It's like a Japanese flavor. Like it's not even like citrus and onion. No, it's fucking Sudachi. It's like an actual flavor they invented. And the Sudachi is it's like a lime or a lemon, but it said it's zestier than those. And you're goddamn right it was. It was fucking zesty. So I had some Sudachi Pretz. It was awesome. So I got that gift and I put it aside. And I told Casey and them, I go, "Hang tight, I'm going to meet people and then we can hang out." So as I'm meeting them, a group of people come up. Tommy! That guy Tommy walks up. And he shakes my hand. He's real nice. He's never listened to the podcast. He goes, "Oh, we listened on the way here. We had to listen." It turns out he's in a group of 12 that all came together in one like giant van.
Wow.
And in the van, they listened to the show. Because one of them was a fan of the show and made everybody listen so they knew what they were getting into and bought all the tickets. That person is named Jill. You guys might remember Jill. Jill was in Los Angeles and texted me, and I didn't get together with her and her husband, and it turned out bad, and we wound up having a text war and a big fight. And she had claimed me in Milwaukee. She told me a long time ago, like when the page first started, she goes, seriously, we're going out that night. That's happening." And I was like, "All right, I'm in, whatever." You know, I try to do it. It's always weird because, again, a lot of people want to go out, but Jill wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
Like she was in the room, and her friends kept coming up to me. That was the group of people milling about, and she was sitting down. I could see her, but she didn't want to talk to me. And I'm like, "All right, well, that's fine." So I met Tom, who's her husband, and I met all these other people, and Paul was very nice, and Debbie, and everybody was very cool. Steve. So I see her kind of stand up, and she's got like her head down. You know what Jill looked like? She looked like a little kid at the mall who was going to meet Santa. But was scared, like was like too scared to meet him, and was like, and like his parents were like, go on, and he's just like taking baby steps and like looking up and looking down at the ground and just I don't know, I don't wanna, and because you could see her, she was looking down, she had her hands in her pockets, like who has their hands in their pockets, like so weird, and she's kind of like walking over like kind of closer and closer, and I'm talking to other people and I see her getting closer up, and finally she gets next to me, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Jill," and I go, "Jill Bublets Charbonneau." I said, "I saw you sitting over there. Were you texting me? Is that what you did? You sent me a text from over there? Maybe that's what it was." She goes, "Well, I just didn't know you're busy," and she didn't like. It was so funny. She was so shy. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, and she gave me a hug. She was very nice, and like I said, I'm talking to her and her friends and her husband, and she gives me a bag. She goes, "Oh, I brought this for you." She's got a gift for me, so I open it up, and it's a thing of hair gel, like Paul Mitchell styling gel, and I'm like, "Oh, I talk enough about my fucking hair," and she goes, "Well, it's not empty. There's something else in there." So I look, and there's like a black envelope, and I pick it up, and it's obviously like a card or something. So I go, "Oh, it's a card." So I open it up. Fucking gift card to Killer Shrimp. And the great thing about it was, I had told her that I wanted to take her to Killer Shrimp when she was in town, and then it never happened. That night when we didn't meet for, I couldn't make it out there, she walked out of her hotel, and she said she looked directly across the street. Directly was Killer Shrimp. They went in and bought the card that night.
Oh my God.
Then that week they heard me do the show about, fuck, I just wanted to go to Killer Shrimp. God damn it. And she was like, "I was so excited to give it to you." Because you were like, you made such a big deal out of it. And I knew I had the card. I was so excited. So I talked to her, and I'm talking to her friends, and then I go, "So what's happening?" I go, "We hang out? How's that?" Because she was doing that thing where she written me that morning too. She's like, "I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but if you want to have lunch or something, that's fine." And I'm like, "No, I go, you're not the last person anything." I go, "I thought we cleared all the weirdness up, and you and I were hanging out tonight, right?" And she's like, "Well, a lot of people are supposed to be there, right?" She wrote that in her email. I go, "Yeah, a lot of people are supposed to be there to hang out, but you and I are vampires. I mean, eventually that they'll all fall off, and I'll be able to talk to you. It'll be fine." And I go, "Just let me know tonight when you see me. It's fine." So she came up, and she's like, I go, "So are we hanging out? What's happening here?" She goes, "Well, we all came in the van together. It's all of us." I go, "Well, I don't care. I'll hang out with you guys." And I was going to hang out with Hannah, and I said Hannah and Casey and Andrea are involved or whatever. And she's like, "Well, I have to go to work in the morning." And I'm just like, "Okay." I go, "Well, I'm not, because I'm not going to fucking beg." You know what I mean? I asked, and she's like, "Yeah, so I have to go to work." And I go, "Oh, all right. Well," I go, "That's fine." And she goes, "Well, will you take me to work in the morning?" And I said, "Yeah." And she makes a face like again, we're playing poker, all right? And she went ahead and she pushed half of her pot in, and she's like, "You take me to work in the morning?" And I didn't fuck around. I went over the top, and I was, "Yeah." And she immediately froze, and she just goes, "Seriously?" And I go, "Yeah, the fuck am I doing?" I go, "I don't know what the fuck's going on. How far is your work?" She goes, "Well, it's not far." And I go, "Okay, yeah, I'll take you in." She's like, "Well, really?" And then her friends are like, "Yeah, do it. Come on." They're all excited. And her husband's just like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun. That'll be awesome." And I said, "Yeah." I go, "I'll tell you what." I go, I mean, I have other people. I go, let me talk to them and figure out what they're going to do and see if there's a way we can work this out. It's fine." So she starts talking to her friends, and I go to walk over to talk to Casey and Andrea and Hannah. But before I go over there, another person comes up, wants to buy a shirt, and they're nice. And I took a picture with them. And as I'm talking to them, I told you Tom was there. He took pictures. He took like 9 pictures. And as I'm talking, walking up out of the corner of my eye, I see my friend Erica and 2 of her friends. And they go walking past, and they're like, and I'm talking, and I don't look at them. Okay, they don't look. I don't know if they're looking at me. They don't stop to talk to me, but they go to walk by. And literally in mid sentence, I'm talking. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much." You taking off? I turn to the right because I want to apologize. All right, I want to apologize to her because I put her on the spot. She was nice enough to buy tickets, and it turned into a thing. And I handled it badly. They did too. But I can't account for them. I can only account for me, and I'm not happy with the way I handled it. So I'm talking in the middle of a sentence, like, "You taking off?" And she stops. And the best thing is I went to school with this girl. She's from Chicago, but she's lived in Wisconsin like ever since. So now she's like, "Oh, geez, I tell you what, I couldn't believe it." Like she's like very Wisconsin. And she goes, "No, we're not leaving, Mike. I'm so sorry about what happened in there. I'm so sorry. We loved you. We thought you were so funny." I go, Erica, I get it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's cool. I'm fine. And she hugs me. She's like, I'm so sorry, and we had a good time and your show was really good. It just turns out, she goes, we really didn't think we were doing anything wrong. We went out, we had some drinks, we were having fun. She goes, you know what the thing was? Our husbands were sitting there. They didn't turn around and tell us to be quiet, so we didn't think we were loud. Which made me laugh, because then it made me laugh even more, because that meant her husbands were right. All their husbands were there by me when I walked into the crowd. How the fuck did nobody tackle me and knock me the fuck out?
Because they knew.
But so she stops with her two friends. She's like, I'm so sorry. You know what? This is my friend Kim. And Kim's like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. I'm so sorry. And she hugs me and she's holding me. She's drunk. She's like, oh my God, you're so great. We just loved it. We had a good time. It's just, we were talking, just having fun. Just wanted to have fun. And Erica's like, we're just having fun. And then Erica hugged me and Kim hugged me. And then she goes, and this is our friend Susie. And Susie fucking hated me. Oh man. As drunk as those two were and apologetic and hugging me and telling me they were sorry, Susie was mean mugging me like Nick Diaz in the fucking octagon the entire time. I could feel her eyes going through my fucking skull. She hated me. Didn't think I was funny or entertaining or interesting. Nothing. And so I go, I'm hugging Kim. I'm hugging Erica. And then she goes, this is my friend Susie. And I kind of lean forward and Susie puts her hand out. And I go, hey, Susie, I'm Mike. And she goes, I know who you are. And I went, ha ha! Literally, because what do you do? So I'm like, all right. And she goes, all right, you know what? We're not leaving, but our friend is having some problems in the parking lot. She's throwing up and we got to go out there. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming. And Kim hugs me again. And they were nice and they walked out. And I never fucking saw him again. Never saw him again. I'm sure that was their way to get out. Because I think they were thinking to sneak past me. You know what I mean? But I never saw them again the rest of the fucking night. And I'm actually wrote her on Facebook and offered her money back. I haven't heard back yet, but I go, look, this didn't work out. I understand it. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and I'm happy to refund all your money. I am. So that finishes that little play, and I take more pictures, and then I walk over to Casey and Andrea and Hannah, and I go, look, are you guys are all staying the night, right? And they go, yeah. And I go, do you want to get together in the morning for breakfast? I said, because I'm staying the night. My flight is until later in the afternoon. I said, and, I kind of owe Jill after what happened in L.A. I feel kind of weird. And I go, if all of us went, it's just weird making everybody a blended group. Because it was funny, Hannah doesn't even know Casey and Andrea. But she's hanging out with them. And I'm like, the only touchstone they have is they all like me, which is kind of cool. But they were so accommodating. Like Hannah's like, yeah, Hannah goes, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jill had her chance. I don't know if you give her... I go, I know, but come on. I got to be nice here. I wanted to hang out with her. She's nice, and how do you tell her no? She bought 12 tickets. She's been supportive and yeah, you wouldn't. But they were all but Hannah and Casey and Andrew like, yeah, we'll go back to the hotel and we'll get up in the morning. I go, how's like 11 sound? I go, well, I'll meet, we'll have breakfast and then we'll hang out. It'll be great. And they're like, yeah, actually, that sounds like fun. Because then I think that's better because then it's a smaller group and you don't have to worry about 9 people all yelling at one another and whatever. So I walked back over to, they were very nice. I said, thanks. Oh, actually, Jill walked up to us. And Hannah looked at her and she goes, you had your chance, Jill. Like she wasn't even letting it go. And Jill's like, yeah, I guess so. I know. And she's all looking down at the ground again. She's ashamed. And they were like, no, it's okay. It's fine. And I said, all right. And I look at Jill and I go, I'm in. I'm in if you're in. And she's like, well, all right, seriously? And I go, yeah. And so we walk over. I'm talking to her husband. And he goes, all right, well, I'll tell you what. He goes, you, Jill, you hang out with him. And I'll take everybody back and it'll be fine. Just let me know, when to come get you. And she goes, well, okay. And I go, you don't have to come get her. I'll take her to work. And he's like, just let me know when to come get you. So he takes off and they gave everybody in the van and Jill and I hung out and we just went back to the hotel. Cause she's like, I go, it's your town. She goes, I really don't know anything about this town. I go, Jesus Christ, really? How do you not know anything? This is your town. You told me. Like, I can't wait to hang out. What the fuck? There's nothing to do. And I go, do you want to eat one of the many cantinas that happen to be around? She's like, are you hungry? I go, not really. I go, I just want to decompress and talk. I'm fine with that. So we drove around and I just went back to the Hilton. I go, do you care about going back to my hotel? She's like, no, I don't. So that's it. We just hung out. We talked in the hotel, hung out in the lower lobby for a while, went up to my room, talked there and, texting her husband. And he's like, hey, I'm on my way. I'll pick you up and I'll take you to work. And she's like, great. And he showed up at like 1:40, I think. So we hung out for like an hour and a half talking. And then Tom showed up and we went downstairs and met him. And he was like, let's have one drink. Cause there was a bar open. So we did. I went and hung out with Tom and his wife and Jill and, we got drinks, closed the bar, and then they split. It was nice seeing them. I went upstairs, and then I turned on my computer, and I was all fucking wired anyway. I should have been tired, but I was instead, fried. And I went upstairs, and I turned on my laptop, and Friday night was Podcastathon. So I tuned into the Ustream thing, and I got it. It was perfect in the hotel, and John Hamm had just walked out. And John Hamm was fucking hysterical on Podcastathon. It was so great. So I go, fuck, I'm in. So I'm watching John. And then I watched the rest of Podcastathon. It's a 12-hour marathon. I'm going, well, I'll go to bed in a minute. And then I wound up on the phone for a while, just monkeying around with Facebook. And then I sure enough, all of a sudden I look at my fucking clock. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm meeting people at breakfast for at 11, and then I have to drive to O'Hare. And I haven't slept. I didn't sleep. I've been up since 6:30 the previous day. Or no, since 1:30 in the afternoon. So, and I, again, hadn't had much sleep. I'm like, well, I should lay down now. And I go, well, fuck it. Now you're wired. After Podcastathon just ended, I'm up. So I packed all my stuff, and I laid down at about 10, meeting them at 11. And the phone is next to me, and it lights up right when I laid down, and it's a text from KC. And he goes, hey, man, we'll be at your place in 15, just picking up Hannah at her hotel. And I wrote him, and I go, can we make it 10:45? I overslept. Meaning I didn't sleep at all. And because I was going to go with them and then leave right to get on the road, but I need to take a shower. And he's like, yeah, no problem. I guess they got caught in some construction, so I fucking showered in the panic shower room. Busted everything out, kept my shaving kit, packed it up. And I got out, got dressed, and then they showed up. I met them in the lobby. And we had breakfast downstairs, and it was great. With Hannah, Casey, and Andrea, they were so nice. Hung out and had some breakfast, and I choked down like half a thing of corned beef hash and a couple eggs. And I took pictures with them. It was nice. And then I have to drive 2 hours to O'Hare. So I was falling asleep at the table. I was like, oh, man, what the fuck? So we went outside. We took pictures. They were really cool, and it was raining. It was piss raining outside. I'm like, oh, God damn it. I don't want to drive in the rain. So I get on the freeway, driving, and heading down O'Hare. Like I said, just 2 hours. And for some reason, it's busy, but it's moving busy. Like you're doing 70, but so is everybody. You're in the middle of everyone in traffic. So I'm in the fast lane. I'm driving. I'm 20 miles, 30 miles, and I'm doing all the tricks. You know what I mean? I'm turning the radio up. I'm drinking water, trying to stay awake. And I'm driving, and I fell asleep driving. And when I say fell asleep, I didn't just like, oh, well, I'm, rockabye baby. I was out. And I woke up, and I'm swerving into the right lane. I sideswipe an SUV, and he jerks his wheel, and I have to jerk my wheel, and I start spinning in the rain. I almost hydroplane, and I fucking get it squared away, and I white knuckle the fucking steering wheel. I was out. I was asleep. Like I don't remember it.
Oh my God.
I just remember waking up and seeing that I was about to hit that guy, and I'm like, fuck. And the adrenaline jolt wakes me right the fuck up. So I'm like, dude, you got to stay the fuck up. I turn the air conditioning on. I turn the radio on. All the tricks I used to do, like I said, when I was on the road as a kid. So I roll the windows down, and even though it's pouring rain, I don't fucking care. And but I should say that, like I said, we're right in traffic. So we're all moving at a 70 clip. There's cars right in front of me. So I put my arm out the window to get rain all over my hand, and I'm letting it rain. I'm pouring, it's fucking pouring on me, and I it's a trick. You get the rain on your hand, and then you wipe it like all over your face. You know what I mean? It's like it keeps you awake. So I got my hand out the window, and I'm driving, and people are moving, and we're going 70, and it's raining hard, and I've got the wipers going, and I got my hand outside, and finally my hand is soaking, and I don't even think about it. I just come in and I wipe it all over my face, and I realize that it's not rain that's all over my arm and my hand. It's the water off the road being kicked up by the cars in front of me. So I look at my hand, it's black with like road grime and rain, and I wiped it all over my face. I look in the rearview mirror, I have raccoon face. And it stinks. It smells like fucking horrible, nasty, fucking wet dog. My whole face and hair now smells like wet dog. I'm covered in black streaks on my face, black on my hand. And I'm like, motherfucker, seriously? And I got no towel. I got no way to wipe it off. So I just got to drive like a goddamn raccoon. And I roll the windows up, and I'm like, I stink. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so furious. But again, some adrenaline. It made me mad. So I got to stay up a little more. And then I'm driving, and then time goes by, and then I fall asleep again. And I fall asleep again, and this time I shake out of it like a real quick one, and I drive, and I'm slapping myself hard in the face to stay awake. And I'm driving, and then I go asleep again, and this time like the first time, where my eyes are gone, and I wake up because I hear gong, 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 and I wake up. I'm going toward the retaining wall on the left hand side, and I'm driving and I'm bumping, and I fucking swerve again, and I grab it, and I'm like, and I go, that's it. I'm only 30 miles from O'Hare at this point. I've pushed it because it's like an 80-mile drive, and I go, fuck it, I gotta get. So the Oasis comes up. And I pull off. There was another trick I used to do when I was a kid. Not a kid, when I was a stand-up on the road because I was fat. This is a trick I would do to stay awake. Every time I would leave to drive overnight or, a long drive, I would stop and I would get like 5 candy bars and 2 big things of soda. And I would chug one of the sodas and eat the candy bars and sugar high, sugar surf all the way to where I was going. So I did. I went to the Oasis and I went and I bought 2 big fast break bars. I bought a big Hershey bar, I bought a big Twix bar, and I bought a Pepsi. I haven't had soda in 7 months, and I'm not eating candy anymore, but I don't care. I needed it. So I grabbed it, and I'm parked in the lot, and I grabbed the fast break bar, and it's one of those big giant ones. I eat it in like a minute. I just start chewing it. I'm not even tasting it. I'm just eating it to get it in my system, like a fucking carbo load racer. And I start sipping the soda because I can't chug soda because it's fucking carbonated, whatever. So I'm sipping it, but I'm sipping it heavily, and I sit there and wait for it to kick in. And I wash my face and hands. I can't even imagine the guy's face, and I walk in half asleep with like black all over my face. Could I have the bathroom key? He's just like, oh man, yeah, absolutely, Batman. So I get on my stuff, I sugar load, and I hop on the freeway, and it was fine. I was perfect all the way to O'Hare, but only on 1 candy bar and only like on a third of the soda. So then when I checked in at Alamo, I looked at the guy and I go, dude, I can't eat these candy bars because again, I don't want to eat them. I'm trying to lose weight. So I go, do you want these? And he's like, yes, absolutely. So he fucking scarfs them. And I don't mean he ate them right there. That seems weird. he tore them out of the wrappers and ate them like a feral cat. Because I don't know if you know this, feral cats love Twix. So I checked in, I went in, I got on the plane, and when I tried to check in for the plane the night before, I bought the premier security again because I'm a fucking sucker. I swear to God I did. I sat down to do it, and I passed on the seat because there were no aisle seats left or only middle seats up there. It's like, fuck it, I'll sit in my regular aisle seat or my window seat. I like window seats. And then, but then sure enough, they said, you want the premier security? In my head, I'm like, people going home on a Saturday, it's going to be fucking grim. Yeah, I'll take it. They tricked me again. So now my flight was over $500. Stupid. And then I get there and there's like 25 people in security. So I mean, I saved 10 minutes. Dumb, but that's okay. But I needed it. Fuck, I don't want to tell you this story. I'll tell you. What the fuck? Who cares? I should get the fuck out of here. I didn't eat for almost 36 hours. And then at breakfast, I had half a thing of hash and a couple of eggs. And that was it. I couldn't finish it. It was like, whatever. And then I ate that fast break bar in the car. So I right when I drop off at Alamo and I give the guy the candy bars, I get out and I'm like, okay. My stomach wants to have a word with me. And so I get in there, and thank God I skipped security because I went and I had to use the restroom. And dude, look, if I'm shitting in an airport, there's an emergency at that point. I mean, that is just awful. And I was, and it was this thing where it was the kind of, it was so horrible. It was the kind of horrible where like, I've been in that situation where I've been on the other side of it, and you hear something and you all look around and make eye contact. Like, did that guy just kill a wolf in there? What the fuck just happened? Bad. And then I walked out, and then sure enough, right in front of the bathroom was the Frontera, Rick Bayless's Frontera restaurant. And I'm like, and I've wanted to eat there forever. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, it's there. And I had to. I'm like, fuck it, I'm eating it. So I got like a Cuban sandwich. After walking right from the bathroom to go get a Cuban sandwich. So disgusting. And I feel like an animal. Like, oh, I'm supposed to get tea. I'm supposed to have a nice tea and a piece of lemon cake. That's what I do. So I'm like a grown up. What he does in the airport. No, fuck that. I got a Cuban sandwich. Hey, I just fucking shit out my heart. Why don't I get a fucking pork sandwich? Idiot. But I couldn't help it. It looked so good. And then it was fucking mango guava agua fresca. Oh, mango lime, I should say. Mango lime, delicious. It was no sudachi, but it was very good. And then I got on the plane. It was fucking awesome. And I just bottom line is, man, Milwaukee was great. It turned out to be fantastic. And it was a bonus for everybody else because just like in New York, you got to see Mike Schmidt. You got to see Mike Schmidt show up. You didn't just get to see the show. You got to see the actual horrible part because I posted that on the Milwaukee page. I go, hey, you got to see the best and the worst of me last night because I was embarrassed. I mean, whether or not I did the right thing, whether I handled it properly or not, I don't think I did. Okay, I should have done it in a much nicer way. I could have done it better. I didn't have to storm up there like a fucking psychopath, but at that point, I had lost my mind. And I'm so grateful that people let me do that and then were still able to let me do the show. You know what I mean? Because in a club, I've done it, and they freeze. Like, they just think I'm a nut. But these people were used to it, and they wrote it out. And I cannot thank Milwaukee enough, man. You guys were so great. You saw what is probably the last version of that show. It's going to be different. It's going to be better, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm so glad you came and that you saw it. And you let me, people like Zach who started the page and Jill and Tom, Jill bought all those tickets and she, it's funny when the page started, Jill immediately said, I can't believe you're coming. Because she was the one who kept saying, you got to come to Milwaukee. And all of a sudden Zach started a page and she signed up immediately and she wanted me there. So that was great. And all of her friends were so nice and thought I was genuinely funny. And even my friend Erica who bought tickets, I hope she gets back to me and I can give her her money back, whatever. And Casey and Andrea and Hannah and I can't thank Susan and Tom enough for making their long drive, and Mike and Warren was there, and everybody was so nice. Leslie and thank you, everybody who buys a ticket to the One Man, who listens to the show, who downloads anything, who buys a shirt, because I joke all the time that I have nothing, that I'm a failure, I'm this, but I'm not. Every time I go to these shows, I realize I'm not. Because even if it's 50 people in a town, if it's 70 people in a town, even if it's 20 people in a town, I know that people out there want to see what I do and are supporting me and want to make sure that I do it, and they want to be in the room when I do it. And I can't thank you enough because it's you are the reason I do this. I'm doing this. You're the reason I can go do live shows, doing the thing that I want to do most in life. And all of you are keeping me in business and keeping me and letting me be Mike Schmidt instead of being a fucking hobo with a hand truck. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp twice on Twitter at Twitter.com/LilyVonStupp and Twitter.com/MNTs. And if you want to write her a personal note and find out which bottle caps she prefers and which ones she doesn't, go ahead and write her at Lily at Burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at Burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40yearold boy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. every Monday night. I know the producer of that show. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. She's a close friend of mine. She's right here. Hey, Lily.
Hi.
How are you?
A lot of pain.
Yes, I know that. I apologize. I wish there was something I could do.
There's nothing anybody can do.
All right. So then coming up this week is a big theme show, I understand.
It is.
And it's the
Hitchhiker's Guide to Burlesque.
Hitchhiker's Guide to Burlesque. And I have to tell you, Lily makes flyers and stuff for her shows, and she puts a lot of work into them, and I like them. But this one is exceptional because it is the logo of the I don't know what that guy is, but he's got a pasty on with instead of the long nose. It's fucking amazing. It's a very cool shot. Or the tongue. I apologize, the big tongue. But yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool looking. So, and are you performing? With your painful leg?
I don't know if I will at this
But
point.
you will be there.
I will be there, and I will be Zaphod Beeblebrox. I am essentially the ex-president of the galaxy, and yeah, it's gonna be good. We got a lot of great acts. I'm very
Are tickets still available?
Tickets are.
Tickets are available at Brown Paper Tickets now. If you get them in advance, that's smart because at the door they are $42. So,
oh, they should have been.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to Burlesque. That's this Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. Lily will be there. Many of other hot naked girls will be there as well. That should be fantastic. Go ahead and check it out. Please remember Facebook.com/the40yearoldboy is where you can go to be my friend. And also to check out all of the people who want me to come to their towns. There's a Bring Mike Schmidt to Detroit, to London, to Toronto. That page exists. Someone just started a New Orleans page. There's a New Orleans page, which is good. I will promote those this week once I get in there, folks. Because I like I said, I took a week off from social media because that's what you do when you have a career. When you want to stay in constant touch with your fans, you stop staying in touch with your fans immediately. Because I'm an idiot, but that will not be happening in the future going forward. But so go to Facebook.com and sign up for any of those pages if you want me to come to town. And remember that the Kickstarter page existed. You know what? I'll tell you this, and this is going to be greedy, but I don't care. Kickstarter.com has been funded. It's squared away. It is all. And now I'm going to start booking Boston and Atlanta. I'm going to start getting everybody the rewards. I'm going to book Cleveland. I'm going to book Washington, D.C. And but there's still like 3 days left if you want to still contribute to the Kickstarter page. People are being very nice and still giving money. We're over our goal, but every little bit helps. As you know, I will be going to these towns and paying for the rewards and paying for shirts. You know that. You guys are very cool and you support the show, and I do appreciate it. So if you feel like giving more to Kickstarter, it will get channeled right into the East Coast tour, and I'd appreciate it. After Kickstarter and Amazon get their cut, I will get mine, and then I can start spending it and buying and stuff and going to your town. That'll be fantastic. And if you wanted to start up a page to bring me to your town, let me know. I know there was going to be a San Antonio page. Beto, B-E-T-O, Beto. Yeah, Beto was a good guy, and he's written me a few times. I owe him a couple of emails, but I know he's interested in starting a San Antonio page, so that would be cool too. I would love to get back to Texas. Austin went very well last year. So remember to go to facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. Be my friend, be Lily's friend, be our friend David Hernandez's friend. He does all of the artwork for the show, and he's going to be doing all the reward artwork for Kickstarter because I won't, because it'll be a stick figure of me pointing at you accusingly and laughing. And also, by the way, if you guys have ordered shirts, I should tell you that shirts go out tomorrow. I'll be sending anybody who's ordered shirts. There's some people I owe Minneapolis shirts and Chicago shirts. I will tell you there are 2 Milwaukee shirts left.
Oh, they're awesome.
They are 2X shirts. So men, wear them and look like a man. Ladies, sleep in them and think of me. Go ahead and get a Milwaukee shirt. And I should tell you, they're great. If you know what the Milwaukee Braves logo is, I never put it online. It's funny. I tried not to. But if you know what the Milwaukee Braves logo is, we spun off of that, and we made a 40-year-old boy on the front, like the Milwaukee Braves logo, which is an old baseball team. And then the back, it says Schmidt, and it has the number 40, like a jersey, and it looks fucking amazing. So there's a couple of 2Xs available. I will go ahead and list them. And I'll actually put the picture of it up on Facebook so you guys can see what it looks like. But I can tell you that... As cool as they looked in the pictures that I got, they looked that much better in person. I actually fell in love with the Milwaukee shirt. I really liked it. And going forward, the shirts are going to be they're going to be very different, and we're excited about that. We're making them different, and Dave and I have a lot of ideas. We'll start filling the rewards for Kickstarter coming up, and looking forward to that. And remember that the Reddit page exists. If you want to go to the Reddit page and write some stuff, I will. I swear to God. I swear. Don't shake your head. And remember that every Thursday, people go to Wikipedia.com and they listen to the show live and they chat. I don't know if this week is going to be a week they do that, because there is just no way, because it starts at 7 o'clock Pacific, and which is 10 o'clock on the East Coast. If you jump on this at 10 o'clock on the East Coast, then you might as well just wake up and take Jill to work. I mean, honestly, once the show is finished, just go ahead and take Jill to work. Because it's just long and crazy. So make sure you go to Wikipedia.com tomorrow night to listen in live chat about the show. Yes, I know. I saw that number. Reddit still exists. Kickstarter still exists if you want to take care of that. Remember that you can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and if you want to go ahead and buy stuff from Zazzle.com, you go to the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Zazzle link and get mugs and mouse pads. You can click on the download sets. We're selling those, year 1, year 2, and year 3, or you can combine them all in the Lord of the Schmidt set, like I said. And also there's the link to tweakedaudio.com/40, where you can go ahead and get cock ring watches and mugs. Oh, no, not mugs there. There's autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. Go ahead and pick those up from tweakedaudio.com/40. And also make sure you tune into their new podcast, Mid-Podcast Mockery, hosted by Bruce. That's fantastic. I think it's available on iTunes. As soon as I get the specifics, I'll let you guys know about it. And if you want to donate to the show, straight up, if you don't want to go to Kickstarter, you don't donate to me, then you can go ahead and click on the upper left-hand corner of every page of MikeSchmidtComedy.com. There's a little Schmitty there with his pocket out, and then I will say your name on here, like this person, Rich Galvin. Rich Galvin, this is his 3rd donation to the show. This was actually him buying a Philadelphia shirt, and it's funny, he actually wears it on stage. He has a band up in Portland, and I used this amp when I went to Portland. Rich is awesome. Rich and his wife, Kristen. I think Jackson Furno that's the name of the band when I first met him, when he first started corresponding with me. I don't know if he's still in Jackson Furno, but maybe he is. But Rich Galvin donated to the show. This was his 3rd donation. Thank you, Rich. Also, Matt Henshaw donated to the show. Matt's a good guy who I owe an email to, because he bought a Chicago shirt, and I met him in Chicago at the show, and then he wrote me a review. And he actually posted it online and sent it to me and was very kind to me, and I haven't answered. That's how far behind I am in correspondence, folks. I apologize. But Matt Henshaw, Rich Galvin, and this is strange. This is, again, fortuitous. KC Bills, who I just met over the weekend in Milwaukee with his wife, Andrea. KC Bills, this was his 2nd donation to the show, and this was him buying 2 Milwaukee shirts, which he was wearing proudly. And Also, Shannon S. donated to the show. Shannon, this was Shannon's second donation. Thank you so much, Shannon S. So that's Matt Henshaw, Casey Bills, Rich Galvin, Shannon S. And then, all right, I don't know. This is going to be tough to pronounce this last name. Oliver, I'll just say Oliver R. He'll know who he is because he's from Germany. Oliver ordered T-shirts and wanted me to send them to Germany. And I was like, dude, that's like $35 shipping. He's like, no problem. And he donated that to the show too. So he bought 2 T-shirts and then donated the big shipping money, and I sent them to Germany. And I sent them a month ago. He just got them yesterday.
Wow.
Because he wrote me, they got hung up in customs in Germany. And I said, do you need me to do anything? And I wrote a note saying that I had sold them to him and they had come from me. But I'm an idiot. I wrote it like smartassy. And he wrote me back. He goes, I can't believe that you even make jokes in the letter to customs. Why would you do that? But he was very nice. He's like, I think I can take care of it. And I just got an email from him yesterday or this morning. It's a blur because I don't sleep, saying, hey, I finally got the shirts. Thank you so much for sending them and all that. And then he busted my balls about having a clip show last week. I'm like, what the fuck do you care? You've been waiting a month for shirts. Jesus Christ. So good for Oliver. Thank you so much for buying. And this was Oliver's second and third donations to the show. So that was cool. So Oliver R. in Germany, Shannon S., KC Bills, Matt Henshaw, and Rich Galvin. Thank you so much for donating to the show. We do appreciate it very much. And again, if you want to donate, you know what to do. And Kickstarter's still up if you want to go ahead and kick in some dough for that. And you know what? I got to say another special thank you to Dave and Ron. I don't know if they want their last names on here, but Dave and Ron are listeners to this show, and they've been listeners for a long time. Listen when I was on Never Not Funny. And they contacted me and said they were going to be in town, and they wanted to get together. And then it turned out that I was in Milwaukee when they were here. And the funny thing about that is they are from Milwaukee. I mentioned Dave last week because he and I are going back and forth about bringing me for sushi, and then he was just like, he didn't care. Like, well, whatever, pal. You know, I mean, just that weird thing. So I wrote him last week. I go, look, I made fun of you on the show. Please don't take it, personally, whatever. If you still want to hook up, that's great. So, and he wrote me, and they were in town for Podcastathon. And he's like, yeah, man, I would love to, let's go for sushi on Sunday. So Dave and Ron picked me. They didn't pick me up. I met them there, and they had a table, and we had sushi at Katsuya. And it's so funny. I guess they're like sushi snobs, kind of. And when they were here last year for Podcastathon, they ate at Katsuya down in L.A., which is completely different from Katsuya by me. I go to the original Katsuya, and then they farmed it out to some designer, and they made some other fancy ones. And so they ate the food. They were like stunned at how good it was. It was so great. I was so happy. And then they paid for dinner, which was ridiculous because I just kept ordering food. And it was this gigantic amount of food. And we ate it. And there was someone spilled a beer on somebody. It was just a great time. We had a really good time. Beer all over the place. Seafood all over the place. Sushi, rice. It was great. So Dave and Ron, thank you so much for taking me to dinner. And then we get up to walk out. And we go to the valet, and our cars are at the valet. And we're talking about podcasts, and I said, "What do you guys got going the rest of the time you're in town?" They go, "Well, we're going to a Craig Ferguson taping tomorrow, and we have coffee with Greg Barrett in the morning." And I laughed like right in their face, like something like, "Ha, dude, what?" So they went to Podcastathon on Friday night, and then they met me on Sunday for sushi, and then they're taking Greg Barrett to coffee on Monday. I'm like, "What are you, like the greatest podcast fans of all time?" Just we should have like a thing on Hollywood Boulevard with the stars to the podcasters' homes with Ron and Dave. I mean, take Greg Barrett to coffee was just so ridiculous. I'm like, but again, this is the cool part about doing these kinds of shows is I don't mind being accessible, and I guess neither does Greg and Jimmy. That's what it's about. I want you guys to listen, and I want you to know that I care, and so that's cool that you want to. And fuck, you want to buy me $1 million worth of sushi? I'm in. I don't care. I'll laugh at you for having coffee with Greg Barrett. That's fine, but fucking go. He got coffee. I got sushi. I think I won. And they're like, when are you going to be on Dave and Anthony's and Greg's Walking the Room? And I go, as soon as they ask. I go, I say, I know them. They're my friends. I go, but I don't really know them to be asked on the show. And then they were going to, I go, tell them at breakfast. Tell me, you'll have them vulnerable. You're buying them coffee. Just go, hey, you should have Mike on. And they're like, we'll do that. I'm like, oh, great. So we're waiting for our car there in valet, and all of a sudden they pull up with a car, and the two of them go, all right, well, take care. And I shake their hands, hug them, and they go to split, and they go, what do you think? And I look over their rental car, gray Ford Crown Victoria. And I just start fucking laughing. I'm like, that is beautiful. They go, you know what? We didn't even try. Like, that was the only thing that was left in full size. I go, of course it's the only thing left. This car is, if you watch the movie Cars and everybody's talking and they're having fun, there's a Ford Gray Crown Victoria that's just sad and off in the corner. None of the other cars will talk to it. It's literally just sitting alone in the lot by itself. It's fucking Mater and whoever the fuck else, Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy. You know what? It's actually, you know who it's voiced by? It's voiced by me. And, hey, where are you going? That's me. I'm the voice in Cars of the Ford Crown Victoria. But yeah, it pulled up and they hop in it and when I say hop in, like they have, they get a running start and leap because it's so fucking huge. And I'm just laughing my ass off as my fucking car pulls in behind it. And I'm like, I am just stupid enough to think that when people listen to me and they listen to the show, they should take my honesty and go, oh, wow, how refreshing his unvarnished honesty is. And the fact that he's willing to have a scorched earth policy and have no friends or no fucking future is so refreshing and great. But then they'll say to me, hey, do you need somebody raped for the steak? I go, yes, I do. Done. They'll take care of it for me. Thanks, Snake Rape. Oh, no one listens to show, bro? Wonder why? Wonder why no one listens to show, bro? I don't want to listen to show, bro. Please. Snake Rape, do it, do it, do it, do it.